comrades, today is July 2nd, 2026, and the current time is 1917. We'd like to ask all comrades to exercise caution this weekend to minimize our insurance premium increases due to celebratory injuries. If you plan on using fireworks this weekend, please be sure to aim them carefully. That concludes today's announcements.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
My God. Oh no. Everything's already breaking. Hold on. What is the thing that's above me? Oh, I think I know what that one was. Okay. Hold on. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong scene. Give me 1 second. I think I'm supposed to be on this scene. Alright, give me 1 second. I think this is working. Probably. Let me pull up the game, because this entire thing is an unmitigated disaster so far, because holy cow, I swear this game ran fine last time. It's barely functioning right now. So we're gonna hope. I was finagling with the settings as best as I could. I really don't know how many more I can make this go without it exploding. I had to crank my resolution down from... I normally play at 1440p. I had to crank it down to 1880p so this thing doesn't explode on like impact. And everything is kind of set to high, but generally that's not too bad. I think you can kind of keep everything at high and it should be fine. But I don't know why this game stutters like a ton. And I probably need to finagle things to see what's going on with that. Anyways, how are all of you doing, comrades? Hopefully you're all having a good evening. Hello, Neden and Ranu and Infidave and Sun and Mr. Dubbing and Zeoposer. And congrats to, I think, Sun for being first today, right? Yeah, Sun was first today. How are all of you? We're playing City Skylines because I really wanted to play a city builder. And we don't get a chance to play city builders too often, so that's why we're doing this. I fully expect this thing to like break in half the time. We're gonna go a quick overview of the city before we actually build anything, so we can kind of gawk at my abominations that I've created. Obviously, this is kind of pseudo-inspired by Japanese city designs, but unfortunately we can't exactly get to be exactly Japanese cities based on the limitations of the game and whatnot. So welcome to our kind of unnamed city called Dystopiaville. By the way, there was a bunch of graphical updates that kind of made the mountain look way uglier, and I don't have a way to change how they look. So unfortunately the mountains just look worse than they did in the previous stream, and I don't really have a way to... Wait. There's a texture mod? What do you mean texture mod? Hold on, is there a texture mod I'm supposed to have? Hold on. I swear to God, if there's like a texture mod I'm supposed to like look up. Or is it for like this map specifically? I do have something called like map texture replacer, but I don't think it's active for this map in particular. Unless I'm forgetting something, which I might. But anyways, welcome to our really questionable unnamed city. Open your maps, texture replace. Okay, so all right, one of these will lead me to that button in the upper left corner. Okay. Goes to trips, network tools, zone tools, road builder, platter. Traffic lights, traffic, extend transport manager. Oh, here we go, map texture. Oh, am I supposed to use this? Is that a default? It still looks a little questionable. Oh, these actually have some unique looks to them. Okay, maybe I don't want that one. Okay, fine. Let me close it. Okay, there we go. Change, and then we're gonna save the game, and then we're gonna pull it up again. So, by the way, if anyone has a good name for this, let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna start naming districts randomly, and hopefully, it's not gonna break in half, because this city is a disaster. All right. By the way, right now the OST that we're playing is some good old, what's it called? Anno 1800. Although I'm not sure if I like the Anno 1800 OST. It might be a little too intense for this, since we're not at war with anything. Oh, actually, no. Let's do Civilization 7. Civilization has a really good soundtrack, so we're going to use that for most of the stream, I think. If you can get past the Live Gloriously theme with the whole Greek, Latin, Old English. Okay. I have no idea if it did anything. Oh, like that? Is that what it's supposed to look like now? I don't know if I like how that looks. It still looks kind... I mean, I guess it looks okay. I don't know. like that, and then we'll just save and reload. Okay, fine. We'll do one more save and one more reload. Otherwise, we're just gonna roll with whatever we got. I don't want to save and reload for forever. Hi, Ashley. How are you doing? Yeah, this is gonna be a mess. And then we'll go over like quickly, like kind of what I did previously, and then what I did off stream. Because there's a couple things that I did off stream that may or may not look appropriate to some people, but at least I'll be able to explain it. Okay. It is a soup kind of day, except for the fact that it's really hot, so I hope you're surviving. I went to see my doctor today. Take a guess how much blood they pulled out of me. They pulled 7 vials of blood. I was like, dang, that's a lot of blood. I immediately went to go eat some red meat afterwards so that I could regain my lost blood. This looks questionable, but I guess that's fine. Whatever, we'll roll with it. Okay. Welcome to our very questionable island home. It's perfectly reasonable stuff going on here. Jeez, it's really loud. Let's switch it over here. So right now we got our cool city. We've got some regions that I haven't properly named, and I'm probably gonna have to rename them properly at some point. I just got a little lazy. So what do we have right now? So this is an island. We basically have this entire place to build, but we only have this one zone unlocked right now, and there's a lot more spaces that we can work with as well. I was trying to build a port. I didn't get around to finishing the port, so it's kind of like half finished here, and I don't know how I'm gonna hook this port into the main road network, which is kind of my biggest concern, and we'll have to deal with that when we get there. The island does have a rail system that's kind of hooked up to it, and as you can see, this rail line does go to outside of the city, which is kind of where we're getting some extra passengers and whatnot. There's a pre-built highway network that's kind of connected to everything. This area here, which I need a name, if anyone's got a good name for this, please let me know, is our primary entrance into the city. In fact, it's like, it very much leads into this suburban hellscape, as you might want to describe it, featuring a gigantic data center right here that consumes copious amounts of electricity and other parts, and also it consumes most of our income to keep our city functioning. I did move things around. I think there's a couple buildings here and like office buildings. I'm basically trying to keep everything this side here as like low density, medium density at most, and then over there I'll go over that in a bit. So, you know, going down our beautiful little street, we've got a big old strode, 3 lanes wide in each direction. Oh yes, what an absolute disaster. Featuring, let's see, let's go to camera mode. I think camera mode might be a little easier to kind of parse. How do I hide the UI? Yeah, so that's kind of what we got right now. There's a couple, we do have a few stations here. Like here's this beautiful bus station that we've got kind of set up here in the middle. This area is kind of like a pseudo office park that we've kind of set up. And if we move over here, we've got our schools. I believe this one is I think this one's a Japanese high school asset. And then I think there's an elementary school over there. I think one of these is the high school, one of these is the elementary school. I can't remember which one's which, but you know, yeah, you got your municipal school. Now, unfortunately, I didn't build a lot of parking lots. I probably should start adding more parking lots, but this city should be focusing a lot on, what's it called, public transportation, but it's a little bit of a mess. We got a few small neighborhoods here filled with just a big hodgepodge of various housing designs and parks and bus stations. It's not very well organized, but it functions perfectly fine. Hello, Gravity the weirdo. Weirdos horsing in. Weirdos horsing. Whoa, look at all those weirdos horsing in. Hello, Gravity. How is your stream? Welcome to our beautiful city that I'm trying to slam more data centers into if I can afford more of them. Let me do the shout out thing because I think none of the mods are here right now, so let me do shout out. Shout out. Gravity. Oh, you're doing Uma Musume. How's your Uma Musume adventures? Who's your favorite horse girl? Mine is Tamamo Cross. I'm not even joking. I liked Tamamo Cross before that movie came out. Cinderella Grey or whatever it was. Gold. A lot of people love Gold Ship. All right, but thank you for the raid. I appreciate it very, very much. We're building our very nonsensical city, but I'm trying to just go over a little bit like what's going on in the city before we continue. But hopefully your Uma Musume adventure went well. Oh yeah, so this main street here, or this side street, oh my god, it's so laggy. This street over here is basically a giant row of apartment buildings. This is an apartment building hellscape. as you might see. They're all the same exact design of Japanese. I think these are the medium or the mixed use buildings. Yes, it's very much the same on all sides. It's kind of spooky to begin with. Yeah, and we've also got like this beautiful office set down the middle lane. You also can't forget about your McDonald's. So there's literally just a single McDonald's like hanging around here. Yeah, because the people need a McDonald's. We've also got a bunch of like small commercial buildings and whatnot. I do not remember what half of these other things are. Let's see what else is here. Yeah, and then we've got a few more small, like low density residential, kind of like right near the school. I tried to make this as close as I could to the intended design of just being very compact, but there's not really a lot of housing assets to use in the 1x1 or 1x2. So you might notice that a lot of these do kind of have the same look. Yeah, I'm probably going to try to alternate. Like this back street here does kind of have a bit of alternating. Some areas like I wanted to make look a lot more dystopian. Like this area here is designed to be super dystopian looking, which is why you might notice there is all of the same exact house in every in large quantities. It is very, very dystopian. And you also have a few more like higher end apartment buildings or mixed or like medium density housing, like row homes in this corridor over here, and a few that are kind of little like this. I'm gonna need to put some fences nearby because that highway, you could accidentally, like a car could be barreling down this highway and accidentally crash into these houses, and that's probably not ideal. Other weird things to note that's in the city, I think there's like I want to say there's like a Suitadonia or something hanging around for some reason. Let's see. There's a few more like weird housing developments. I downloaded a bunch of Japanese store assets. I think there's like a bunch of Family Marts hanging around. I just do not remember where I put the Family Marts. Okay. Additionally, we have this area. This is the more high-end living, so more low-density residential with fancy. They get 3 tennis courts, for example. It's very rich, very, very fancy living. Although right now it says household wealth poor. Don't worry about that. And what else do we have? All right, so this area I was like weirdly proud of. I really like how this small section came out. And I'm probably gonna extend this out a little bit so it's a little bit more fuller, but there is a train station here. It's not named or anything. And all it does is lead to outside the city. But I was kind of proud of how this looks. There's a small station here. I wanted to put some commercial underneath, but I couldn't find any small commercial assets that weren't gonna have issues, so I kind of left this. Yeah. These are in fact apartments. These are medium density housing that's literally right next to the train station. Is it loud? Yeah, probably. It's probably super loud if you live there, but we can pretend that it's like noise cancellation, whatever. I do need to do something with this under area here. I think I was gonna put like a surface. Ignore the fact that one of the pillars is like in the middle of the street. I could not find a way to finagle this. So yeah, pretend that pillar's not there. I don't know how to delete that pillar. Yeah, I think I can't delete the pillar, unfortunately. If I could, I would just delete the pillar, but I believe it is tied to the track, and so there's not really a way to get rid of it. So it's just kind of there, you know. So that's just the unfortunate reality of this. I was trying to select sub elements and I couldn't figure out how to do that with the bulldozer, unless I can do it with move it, which was a whole different issue. Let's see. Because it's not considered a prop, it's not considered like any of these other things. So yeah, City Skylines 1 probably wouldn't have let this happen, but alas, here we are. Yeah, like if I can try to finagle it like here, then you get like a bajillion errors. It's usually not that big of a deal, but I do think it's kind of funny that it just errors out. All right, I guess there you go. That looks a little nicer, I guess. So that's kind of what's going on in this section of the neighborhood. There is a few small buildings here. Like I put a small petrol station or gas station, as you know, it should be properly called. And I was trying to add some, what do you want to call these, surfaces to make it look a little bit more appropriate. Like I added like a small corner park, but it doesn't look complete yet either. Over here we are at the urban center, and honestly I don't like how this looks. I thought it was funny to put this giant tower here, but the more I look at it, the more unbalanced everything looks, as you can kind of tell by the skyline. So what I'm planning to do is I'm going to move the big buildings over here, and then I'm gonna start deleting some of these and converting them into medium density facilities, and we'll have the higher density in this section here. I think is probably what I'm gonna do. So yeah, we're gonna move the giant compensating tower. I already added literally the Chicago Sears Tower, which is itself not super useful, but it kind of just exists for fun. Other things here is that, yeah, there's a lot of like medium high density stuff. High density offices aren't that tall, which is really funny. A lot of the high density stuff here is just literally all like high density commercial is actually fairly low, but these are like the Chinese assets are just really tall for some reason, and it's really funny. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but that's why I'm gonna finagle it. I was kind of proud of this like little bus station that I had put together. There's a small bus station here that's designed primarily for this tower, because this tower holds 5,000 residents. 5,000 people live there, which is approximately, I'm not even joking, a little over a third of our, or a little under a third of our entire population lives in this giant tower. So I need to get rid of that, and I would like to add other things. Also over here, I did start building, there is a giant, I don't know what to call it. It's almost like a Costco. So I just kind of put it there. However, you want to know what asset I did download that's really funny that I kind of want to see if I can put down? If I can, if it lets me load it. Hold on. I think it's commercial. That's right. We can add a Buc-ee's. I don't know where a Buc-ee's needs to go, but I really, really want to put a Buc-ee's somewhere because it seems so unnecessary. I could also put an IKEA. I downloaded an IKEA asset, and there's also the Starbucks reserves, and there's an entire Costco, but the Costco doesn't come with any gas stations. So that's kind of the things. Yeah, Buc-ee's needs to be somewhere rural, which is kind of the main problem, and there's not really a lot of rural. Oh, actually, wait. This area here, what if this entire highway exit is dedicated strictly for Buc-ee's? Like, Buc-ee's is its own dedicated, like, destination, and we put the Buc-ee's here. Can you imagine that people just drive all the way here just to go to... I mean, that would make sense, right? You'd have a dedicated place for Buc-ee's. Well, you could put it like... Yeah, that would fit here. Would it make sense? Not really, but you can fit it there. So anyways, that's kind of the main thing. We're going to try to finagle the city. We do have a small rural area. These things are producing food. So, like, we have a farm for... This one produces primarily grain. I think the other one produces veggies. No, it's all grain. It's all grain industry here. One of the main things is our city doesn't actually have a lot of parking, so the cars are parking wherever they can, which is probably an issue of more my public transit system. The other thing, too, is we are trying to build this port. I wanted to put a port here, but I'm not sure if I really want to put this port here in the end ultimately, so we'll have to see. So anyways, that's kind of how the city's at right now. It's a hot mess, and I was using a bus system here, and I think we'll keep using a bus system, but I am tempted to pivot to a elevated tram line, because trams are cool. Trams and buses and trains are a lot cooler than buses, so I'm kind of debating how I would finagle a tram system. Now, I do have elevated tram line or tram buildings here, and they do look kind of nice. I think there's a few that are also like center road ones. You can put the, like, this one is probably like one of my favorite ones. Like this beautiful elevated tram island. So the question is, do we do trams and just have an elevated tram line, or do we an elevated train station, just kind of abuse our currently existing train? Because technically, I think the way it should work is you'd have the outside connection, go to the train, right? And then from the outer connection, you can then move to a secondary form of connection, either like bus or tram to get to where you need. And I think that's kind of how I want to approach this. In fact, this entire middle section is probably going to get deleted at some point, or I might pivot the secondary section over here. Yeah, see, trams are really cool. I agree. So, but yeah, anyways, this giant parking center has a lot of parking, or this giant shopping center. The road network's also a bit of a mess. Essentially, if you want to know, this highway flows in from outside, right? So we are a right-hand drive city, just FYI. It's not like Japan proper where it's like the left-hand drive. We are right-hand drive. This entire section is probably gonna need to be redone, but it's just outside of my jurisdiction, so I can't. I've finagled a lot of this other stuff to make it a little better, but again, it's still a bit of a mess. Like, this one really doesn't need to have a connection like this for some reason. I don't know why there's a connection from here to go there, because I guess the idea is you can technically cross over, but that's such a risky maneuver. So we're just gonna get rid of that. I thought I did. So we're gonna clean up the highways a little bit, and we'll try to add more data centers, because as we all know, a proper city needs data centers everywhere. This data center does actually do things, which is the funniest thing ever. Data centers in this game do provide a resource. I believe the resource is just network connection, right? And you have to have more network connections so that your offices don't explode. So it does, you are kind of interested in putting these down. Is it a good thing to have? I don't know. I mean, the easiest way to check is if you take a look here. I can check our communication system. And so this one telecom system essentially feeds the entire city right now. But as you can tell, we're kind of losing out on some of the outer edge of the city, which means, you know what that means? We need to add more data centers. So, anyways, I've been watching a lot of City Skylines videos recently, and that's kind of what got me into, like, you know what, I kind of want to play more City Skylines today. So hopefully this is at least somewhat enjoyable to you, and you will like the city building aspect of it all. There's a couple areas that are a little janky and I've been meaning to fix, but I just haven't had a chance to. So we'll be fixing and finagling a lot, and hopefully I can just turn this into a glorified just chatting stream as usual. So if you ever have a topic that you find interesting and you want me to discuss, you know, there's always that. Otherwise, I can just yap about VTubers again, because VTubers are always such an interesting topic. By the way, this area here, I am going to I'm going to try finishing up this area here, just so we can have more residential. And yeah, we are using big streets, but hey, it's a more urban area. When we start building the more suburban areas, we can kind of switch back to tighter designs. So anyways, yeah, that's kind of the plan. Hopefully you're all having good. I saw my doctor today. I'm not gonna go too much into the shenanigans of what it was involved in that, but let's just say my doctor said I was a super healthy lad. Not really, no. He's like, no, you are a walking disaster. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Yeah, don't forget, I got things to talk about. You know what I heard from someone? For that type of thing, you actually, one piece of advice that I heard is you want to maybe set up a like a document, like a notebook, and just write down topics that catch your interest, and that way you can just talk about those topics while you're streaming. You can do that. I personally don't do that, mostly because I'm lazy, but if you're ever looking for an idea and you need to have like something to talk about ready at any time, it's not the worst thing to do. Just gonna extend we're gonna extend this area out so I can add more housing units here, because this area does need a couple housing units. Why did that break the what? Okay, you got mixed results. What's the issue that you're running into, I guess, would be my question. Because trust me, I've been there. I know the struggle of trying to be able to be entertaining while chatting. It is surprisingly difficult to have topics all the time, right? I get it, don't worry. I'm a streamer too. I know the pain and agony. I'm trying to make this like a flat 80. Ooh, that's really janky. I don't like how that looks. Do we just carve that building out? I guess that's fine. That looks really bad. Apparently, the office gets tomorrow off. Business used for the rest of us. No bonuses. Debating whether feeling the weather prep for the con. You just go to the con. I forgot you're going to AX. I've seen people talking about AX, and I'm just like, man, I am too old for anime cons. I love anime cons up to a point, but there comes a point where you're just like, man, I don't want to anymore. We're just like, you know what? I'm good, fam. Oh, I forgot to download the Japanese parking assets. That's fine. Oh, we could put bikes. Do we want our city to start having bicyclists? I mean, it would make sense, right, for a Japanese city to, I guess, have bike lanes and everything. So maybe we should start figuring out a bike network. But if I do that, we're gonna have to commit to bike infrastructure, and I don't know how I'm gonna do that. So for example, I could put like 2 medium bike storage sheds here, and then we'd have to start building bike stops essentially, which I guess we should. Yeah, I guess we should probably do that. But I also actually, no, hold on. You know what I want to do? This area could actually use a tram net. Oh, you know what? Hold on. So this is a bus lane, right? This is a bus line. I have an idea. I have an idea. I know what I'm gonna do. Okay. So this is a bus station. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna convert this area into a tram line. I think this is where I want to have my elevated tram line. Hello, Liru. How are you doing, comrade? That fits perfectly. Ooh. Ooh, you know what? That fits surprisingly well in there. It does come with 2 tracks. So the question is, what am I doing with the 2 tracks? You could have one loop around, like, this side here. And then you can have the other one that kind of pushes out this way. I think that would be fine. Yeah, you know what? I kind of like this, actually. The more I think about it, I'm like, you know what? This is not the worst thing I've ever done. I've done worse. So, all right, here's our beautiful tram line. It does need parking, so as always, the thing is I don't really want to put parking here because it's more or less prime real estate near the ocean. And obviously you don't want to just dedicate a giant plot of land for freaking parking. It's not fun to look at, right? So we could add a one of these parking yard things, like a elevated parking garage, but even still, is that something you really want to have there? Not really. So that's kind of the issue, like how do I make this look like a pretty, right? Actually, wait, hold on, I have an idea. You know what I can put here? Hold on, I think there's like a, we can put the giant automatic. Oh, that's a little too big. That's actually annoying how small that is. This area is a lot tighter than I thought. Okay. But anyways, yeah. How are you doing? Welcome to our wacky city buildings. I try to figure out how I'm gonna finagle this. Actually, maybe it doesn't need a parking garage. Or you put the parking garage around the corner, I think. You put the parking garage here, and then you could force them to, and then, let me think. And then they'd have access to the bus station and also the tram line. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we're gonna figure out our tram system. I don't think we're gonna put the tram connections now, but for the time being, I want to kind of prepare the city for a brand new tram line. So I think also I want to put an elevated station here. And because this one's gonna be a little more smaller, this one doesn't need as big of a connection. I think what we're gonna do for this connection point is I'm probably just gonna make this transit only. Yeah, I think this one's gonna be strictly transit. I don't want anything else. Oh my god, I hate when this happens. It's exactly this. This is why I could delete this. Oh no, I hate it when it never connects correctly. Ugh. There we go, that's what I'm looking for. Okay. So yeah, this is gonna be my super janky setup. Okay, so here's my logic, right? Oh, you know what I just realized? We could have a direct tram line to the Buc-ee's. Actually, no. You'd probably have actually, no, you could probably just hook off the train line to hook into the Buc-ee's. Yeah, I definitely want to build the Buc-ee's here just because it seems so stupid and I think it'd be hilarious. Because you already have the highway connection. All you have to do is put it down and then... Oh, trust me, it'll be fine. We can finagle the weather at all times. Like right now, it's daytime, and now I've kind of gotten rid of all the shadows. In fact, this might actually be the better way to play right now. Sun directly up above, so that there's no shadows, so it's easy for me to build, and then we can put the shadows back later. Okay, so I think actually what I do want to do is add a Buc-ee. I mean, a bus would make more sense, but also having a tram line to a Buc-ee's sounds hilarious. So I'm gonna build this connection here. And then I should be able to delete this and this, because what I'm gonna do... Actually, no, I probably didn't need to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the tram line... It's not centered perfectly, which is like kind of annoying, but it's fine. I actually put it like slightly above. So I think what we do is we put the tram... So it'd have to flow from here to here. It's a very close encounter. Trams aren't that loud compared to other stuff, so this is probably okay. Plus, I think there'd be some benefit to living super close to a tram line, public transit, like right there. Would you live here in these row homes next to the tram line, or is that not ideal? Actually, no, you probably want to put commercial assets near this instead, wouldn't you? And it's a little too far from the A little too far from the giant marketplace to be super useful. All right, bulldozing time. I know what I'm gonna do. Let's purge this. All right. I used to be very apprehensive about deleting stuff in my cities, and now I've kind of reached the point in my city building experience where I'm just like, no, just kill everything. The people can just move. It's fine. See, that's perfectly aligned. And then now what I'm gonna do is we're gonna rebuild. I can't build underground, but what I can do is we're gonna redesign this entire area that I had kind of set up, so it's not gonna be as nonsensical. Okay. Essentially, because of the way this is set up, I can actually put some small commercial zones here by the tram line, and it probably makes sense. So I think what we'll do is, because of the way because it's a tram, it probably does need slightly larger roadways. So we will use a standard 2-lane. Oh, it doesn't like that, actually. Well, anarchy exists, so I can just choose to not care. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. All right, yeah, we're just gonna strip this entire area. I wanted to add a tram line. There we go. That's more centered. Okay. So you have a tram right in front of the shopping plaza, which I think makes a lot of sense. Do we really need 2 stations? Probably not, but it's fine. And then we can just build the connection. Because the main thing is that... Wait, actually, are each of these... Oh, no. You can't... You do want them, because then you have the... Because it's one platform, right? I didn't crash my PC. No, I'm not that bad at the game that I'm going to crash my PC immediately. Where's the tram tracks? Yeah, okay, so you can actually do like this. So I think this is what we do. We crank this up to 10. And then... This should be double, right? Let me double see this. Yes, okay. I got it. I know how we're gonna do this. We're gonna have one as like the left hand, or we're gonna have both traffic. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna plop this like right there. And then we gotta find a way to drag this to that other one. We'll use a nice, Okay, so I want to do a nice simple curve. But maybe don't align to existing... Okay, there we go. So we can do something like this. So... It doesn't like what I'm trying to do, but I'll make it work. Okay, I think I double-clicked, which is not what I wanted to do. Okay, let's try this again. But anyways, yeah. So, I mean, I like City Skylines, but City Skylines does break in half a lot, which you're not wrong. They've been fixing the game over the past couple, you know, patches, which I'm very glad that they're doing, but yeah, it's not a perfect experience. Oh, wait, I know the problem. I'm supposed to use... Okay, I'm using the wrong one. Because I want to use this curve tool, not the other one. So we'll move it in slightly. We'll go here. We can follow this curvature. We can follow this curvature. Pull it up a little bit. We will demolish this building here. That building's not necessary. Okay. Perfect. I mean, a real city would have to bulldoze a lot. You're not wrong, which is why I'm committing the crime. And I am committing the insane amount of, you know, reworking of everything. And that's perfectly reasonable. Okay, snap to existing geometry. Okay, then, for example, here we go. Oh, these are one way, isn't it? Yeah, so I have to make sure I do this correctly. Yeah, so once you kind of have it down, you can just, I don't know, use move it and just adjust the curvature. Because right now this curvature just looks awful, but you can... I mean, to be fair, building along the highway would make a lot more sense, but obviously it's not something... Oh my god. It's not something we're doing. I obviously should be doing that, but alas, here we are. I've kind of chosen not to because I enjoy pain and suffering. And I like trying to force things into places that they really shouldn't be. I'm trying to work this guy. I thought, okay, we'll fix it later. That's fine. When in doubt, just fix it later. That's my solution to everything. Okay, we got the other lines here. But don't you like city builders? I can't believe... I did think it was kind of interesting that City Builder or City Planner Plays announced like, hey, I'm actually afflicted with what was it called? What did you get afflicted with? ADHD. Be surprised how many people probably have ADHD, but it's just undiagnosed. Mostly because they don't want to go to a doctor and actually, you know, face the reality that they might in fact be ADHD. You know? I think people don't like talking about mental health, and that's just kind of the reason why that is a broken... I don't like how that looks. Okay, so if I... There we go, here we go. So we can stretch this out so it looks a little better. There we go. That looks fine. Okay, so there's our first tram line. Isn't it beautiful? Soup? What do you mean by soup? My main concern is I may or may not have to build over these houses when we go to build the next section, which is going to be an issue. But I do need to rebuild this entire middle section. So what I want to do is... I do think there should be a bus line here as well, but maybe it's not necessary. Anyways, let's figure out how we're going to finagle this. What do we want to put here? We could put a park. Actually, you know what? Maybe we do park plus commercial. It probably makes sense to do that. Yeah, I'm trying to make sure there's a lot of green spaces. I think a lot of times we don't get enough green spaces in the game, so I'm like, all right, we're just gonna make our own. I could make this rotate. Oh, it's slightly too short. Ugh. It's ever so slightly short. What if I put a... What's the biggest park that can fit in here? Ooh, actually, wait. Slightly too big. I bet you this one's slightly too big too. Yeah. You could put the plaza on the other side. Well, that's also prime real estate. Is there a long line again? I don't know. I don't know anything about getting diagnosed with that type of thing. I've always probably thought that I probably do have it as well, but I just cannot be bothered to go get that checked out because I don't want to have that label associated with me, so I don't really care enough to go check it out. Ooh, that's actually a nice park. I think oh, you know, here we go. A business plaza. Ooh, hold on. A business plaza park. And flanked by commercial zones on the left and right. With, let's see, Kansai JP. Okay, I don't know what this one looks like. What does this one look like? I'm kind of curious. Hold on. Let it build out. I'm kind of curious what this building's gonna look like. Realistically, this should probably be offices. But let's see what this looks like when it is built out. I am genuinely curious. Okay. Is it only 3x3s? Oh, it actually might be only 3x3s. That'd be really funny. Hold on. Hold on. Oh boy, the game is freezing. This game lags at like the most random times and it's so frustrating. I think this might be a 3x3 only facility. Yeah, that's so funny. I really want to know what this is gonna slam out. Okay. And then over here, what I'm gonna do is I will put a small pedestrian pathway that's, you know, kind of cute, just so we have a little bit of a, you know, nice easy path to go between. Kind of like, shoot, it doesn't like this node here. I'm trying to grab the node. There we go. It didn't like the node because it was causing like a breakage or whatever it's called, and it was just not having it. Was not having it. And so I think what I can do is I can put like a nice little civilian walkway. See, look at that. That looks okay. And just probably flank this with more trees and it'll probably look a little better. And I think what we can do with this single it's a 1x3, right? Hold on. Let's see what I can put it. What can I fit in a 1x3? I can fit a park or, hold on. Let's see here. Is there any, looking for 1x3. What are my choices for commercial? Okay, there's no low density business that fits in a 1x3. There's a French mixed housing. There's no high. Okay, so basically nothing fits in a 1x3. Really? I guess you could put row house. All right, that sucks. All right, no one makes like what? For whatever reason, I think City Skylines is really allergic to 1x3 or anything by one tile shapes, which is really annoying because I really enjoy building with like one tiles. But hey, that's how the game be. Probably just put a park. What is this song? Han China Antiquity Civilization theme. God, I love Civilization, but man, I've been really addicted to playing Civilization recently, and it's such a disaster. I don't know if I want to put a row home here is the problem. I don't really want to put a... Oh, you know what? No, I know what can go here. I know what can go here. let's get our bike system up and running too, because at this point, why not just throw everything together and pray to God it all works together. Which one of these is the bike thing? I think it's under parking, right? Yeah, so you could probably put like a large bicycle storage like on each side. So now there's a spot for people to park their bikes, and then so now we're gonna have bicyclists start spawning in the city, which is interesting. Okay, so these all look the same. It's literally just, oh no, I'm just spawning 4 family marts. It's all family marts. Oh no. I don't think society needs this many family marts, quite frankly. Hi Grimo, how are you? Yeah, I don't think we need that many family marts. I think that's a little excessive. Let's get rid of this one. What do I even do? All right, I have an idea. Let's trim these out. I want 3x3 buildings. Let's see, what can I fit this 3x3? I'm doing pretty good. I'm not feeling super well, but I kind of forced myself to stream today. I'm a little like under the weather. I don't know why. I was like I was almost like ready to puke earlier, but I kind of just held off from doing so. But you know, I'll be okay. We can make this a little, I don't know, what if we use urban promenades? Actually, urban promenades would be kind of sick. What if we do something like this? Like, what if we do urban promenades the whole time? Like that. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's gonna double up. So if I'm trying to force a 3x3 building to spawn here, which I'm not sure. Your legs are broken? How broken are we talking about? Okay, doesn't like, I guess we'll just roll with this. It's probably fine. We'll see how this looks. Okay, we're gonna slot in the row homes here again, because I think it's time to put them back. I think these were NA mediums or NA medium density. Yeah, let's add them back in. You're waddling. At least you survived, right? At least you survived. Wait, what is this Kansai Nara? Wait, what does this look like? Hold on, I want to see this. I downloaded so many assets, I have no idea what half of them are. What is this Nara housing that I downloaded? It's like a medium density row home. Or Kansai? What the heck? What did I download? See, this is what happens when you allow me to mod a game. It's just gonna turn into a mess. Okay, so it's like, what is it, like 1 by... Should we enter the JP pack? Hold on. I think these are it. What is this mod house? You know what the easiest way to find out? Hold on. The easiest way to find out is just to build it. Hold on. I'm curious to know. Okay, I don't think it's actually there. I think the mod author made a option to have it there, but it's not actually set up, which is kind of the problem. So that's fine. We're just gonna add more medium density housing here and it should be fine. We will build the Buc-ee's today. I really want to build that stupid Buc-ee's because I think it'd be hilarious. Okay, so we'll get those houses back. That's fine. And then this small area can probably turn into a park. Or I'm just gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna dump a bunch of trees. I have curse mods. I do. Hello, Alana. How are you? Every time I play a game, it's always cursed. I'm just gonna slam trees in here. What better way to hide something you don't want to look at than by just slamming down a bunch of oak trees and calling it a day? Why are my trees orange? Is it autumn? Oh, it is autumn. That explains a lot. No, this is not Spore. We're not doing Spore today. I thought about downloading Spore, but I was like, I couldn't be bothered. I'm sorry. Were you looking forward to Spore? Sorry, no Spore today. You get city builders instead. Okay, we'll let that build out. Okay. And then I want to have another tram station somewhere here, which is probably going to be the next big project. And then once that's done, we can start building this entire section out. You know what? I want to just put down the Buc-ee's. I want to just see people moving to the Buc-ee's. It's so nonsensical, but it's funny. Okay, so we're going to turn this into like a nice commercial, I don't know. I'll do something with this eventually. So we're gonna find the highway asset and we're just gonna make a nice curvature like right around. Let's Let's see. It's got to be a little wider. Maybe like 72 by 72. I think the Buc-ee's would be like on the inner section here, not the outer section. I think the outer section should be used for something else. So I think in that scenario, let's plop the Buc-ee's and we build. Okay, never mind. This is actually way bigger than. Oh lordy. Yeah, something like this would make more sense. And the outer area can be used for something else. God. Does Buc-ee's actually have a giant like logo on their roof? Is that actually how that works? I've never been to a Buc-ee's, but now I'm imagining that they actually do. That's so funny. Why? Why is Buc-ee's like this? I really want to go to a Buc-ee's one day. Anyways, let's get some cars over there. Actually, no. I'm gonna. Where's Road Builder? Let's see. Are these all my custom roads? They are. Where's public transport? We're building some we're building some public transport. Don't worry. We got some trains. We got some buses. But we're gonna. Oh my god, they really do have the logo. That's so funny. That's so cursed. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna finagle this a little bit. But don't worry. Yeah, we do have some public transit. I'll show them off in a bit. What I want to do. Oh, there is a sidewalk here, so I guess we keep it. All right. Okay, so what I wanted to do was I wanted to use Road Builder and get rid of the sidewalks. Yeah, I think what I want to do is I'm getting rid of the sidewalks. Oh, wait, I can just delete the lane, right? Yeah, get rid of the parking lanes. We don't need those. Trim it down. It's not quite a highway, but I wanted the road markers. This is basically a highway. Not having a shoulder. Oh, so you do need a shoulder. Okay. Okay, so I do need a shoulder. Oh, wait, here we go. I don't need a, there we go. Okay, that looks better. Okay, that's a very janky road. Custom 2-lane. Can I delete this one and rebuild it? Perfect. That's what I want. Okay, and then we're just gonna hook this into the highway. We'll use a complex curve here. 1. Line it up. As soon as the game stops lagging. 2, 3. Ooh. Turn that off. Just make that look as nice as possible. There we go. Okay. The Buc-ee's is open for business. Oh, okay. So it's mostly just to make it look cool. That's so funny. Anyways, here's our Buc-ee's. I don't know if people are gonna come to the Buc-ee's, but it's there. It doesn't hire anyone right now. Oh, wait. You can put the... Oh, you can put the big sign? Wait, that's so cool. Hold on. Come on down to your local Buc-ee's. Yeah, the sign is necessary. God, I appreciate the amount... Unfortunately, I don't think the gas pumps work, but I appreciate the amount of detail that when it... How many rows of gas is this? Hold on. I'm not gonna count. I think it's over 20. I think it's over 20 lanes here. Anyways, hopefully we'll see some civilians going in that direction in a bit. For those who are asking about public transportation, we have a bus network. It does its job for the most part. A lot of our civilians do use the bus network. We also have a train network, which is kind of a little janky, but it's mostly to go inside and outside of the city. This platform has 2,000 people waiting on it, and I'm pretty sure I know why. For whatever reason, the trains on this map get stuck. Yeah, the trains on this map get stuck, and I have no idea why. Like, I'll show you in a second. Watch this. So, you see this connection here? Let's see. Let me double check which connection is connected. I think it's this one. I want to see something crazy. Watch this. I'm gonna delete this. I'm gonna delete this one here. All right. See that train over there? Now it's trying to reroute itself. I don't know what's wrong with this map's trains. It just breaks in half all the time, and I have to keep finding a way to fix it. And I need to look into like what's causing this. It's such a funny problem to have. Using double train track. Yeah. So I think that's what's causing the lag, is this outside connection, and I don't really know how to fix it other than just rebuilding it every now and again. So you can see this train is like struggling to figure out where it has to go. So what you have to do is you have to delete this network section, and then you have to literally just rebuild it and pray to God that this is going to be enough. So watch. I'm going to rebuild the node. Just like that. So the train gets deleted, and now our trains can go inside and outside of the city. And I'm pretty sure I go to the other side, it's going to do the same exact thing too. Like this one's usually like another one of the culprit ones. And if I just delete that one and I put it back, it's such a weird issue. I do not know why that went underground. I don't want that underground. I'm going underground. Stay on the surface. What the heck? Why is it trying to go underground? Okay. Whatever, it's fine. We'll roll with that. It's definitely not truck stop all the time. The closest to you truck stop part is separated from the main complex because the standard pumps aren't big enough to... Yeah, I mean, that's usually for most gas stations too. Usually, like, the truck ones are separate, especially if you're, like, along a major throughway. Oh, shoot, I just realized this Buc-ee's has no water or electricity. That might be important, wouldn't it? Right, okay, so thankfully, I just have to... How do I put this underground? I'm just gonna hook into the power line here. Okay, so that should fix the power problem. Or not. What did I just build? What did I just build? Hold on. It's gonna... Unless it's... Oh, you know what? I think that's a high voltage line. No? What the heck? Why is this... Hold on. How clean are Buc-ee's bathrooms? I'm actually kind of curious how clean they are. I've always heard stories of the joy of a Buc-ee's restroom system. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, there we go. So that's connected. So they just need power now. I think the power line is this one here. So I think the only way to get this to work is I do need to... This... God, this Buc-ee's might need its own personal transformer station. Which is so weird to say. Can I actually no? You know, we're a green Buc-ee. Oh Jesus Christ! I cannot put that there. This Buc-ee's is powered entirely by this single wind turbine. Yeah, this Buc-ee's is powered through the through a wind turbine. Nope, not enough wind here. Okay, wait, no. What? Efficiency 0. Is it overloaded? Wait, how much power does this thing draw? Okay, this might not be enough. This legitimately might not be enough power. What? How much power does a city draw? Let's see. Hold on. I don't really know how to hook power into this. I don't want to build like a giant power line because I'm too lazy to do that. I'd rather just see if I can hook a small power connection this way. But I think this is not power. This is all... Okay, so hold on. Let me see what power lines look like. Yes, this one's got a power grid here. It's the dark one. Can I connect off of this one and just drag it onto this main street? I think I can. Okay, this actually might work. No. Okay, that doesn't work. 1, 2. Yeah, there's no power flowing through that, and I don't know why. The greenest Buc-ee's ignore all the gas that they sell. It's like 20 stalls. Really? I'm actually impressed by that. There's that much power or that much electricity or toilets flowing out of a Buc-ee's. Okay, there's gotta be. I'm missing something. Why can I not hook power here? Oh, because that is a large network. So this does require a substation. Oh my god. The Buc-ee's gets its own personal substation. How have we gone? How is this what we've devolved ourselves to? Buc-ee's gets its own substation. How do I delete this specific thing? Okay, so I have to build this out. So I'm just gonna put this here. Okay, there we go. All right, the Buc-ee's is lit. It is now functioning. Owned by a company called Fish on a Stick, which is really funny. And there's sometimes they miss so basically that's not enough, so you just kind of skip that. Oh, gotcha. God, that's kind of crazy, actually. I hope to visit a Buc-ee's one day. I always hear stories about the joy of going to a Buc-ee's, and it'd be really cool to go see for myself in person one day. But that's obviously going to be like a lot further down the line of things that matter. Jesus Christ, what is this thing? What is this building? Okay. Alright, there we go. So that should be correct. This looks so janky. I don't know if I like that building that much. It's like a giant just white facade for some reason, but I guess it's okay, I guess. I don't know. Alright. So I do need to figure out how to get the... I need to figure out how to put a tram depot so we can actually put the trams, well, on the tram line. Right? That's the other main thing. And we'll have to put more tram sections here. Maybe we just do like a linear tram line instead of a circular loop. I think a linear might be better for us. So I think actually what I can do, because the Buc-ee's is kind of in its own weird section, I think the best thing to do is to actually put the tram depot over here, far away from everything. Unfortunately, I don't think I have an elevated one. No, this was a compacted one. It's 12 feet. How many trams do we really need? This one's so big. I don't want a big one is the problem. This one holds 2 vehicles. Let's see. This one would hold... that one... Can I just elevate this? You can't just elevate buildings, which is super annoying. What is this song? What are we listening to? The Mayura Empire. Alright. By the way, this soundtrack we're listening to is Civ 7, in case you're curious. Okay. Let's go to more... Let's go to the more... Let's go to exploration era. That's more fun. For music. There we go. Let's do this. Okay. There's a tram terminal. Oh my gosh, that's a really big plaza. But again, I want to do a lot of elevated stuff. Because the road is the road, so I want something more elevated. So... if we do this, we have to find a way to build it out. Or we could just put the station in the middle. Whatever. By the way, look at this road. It's super busy. Yeah, look at that. I think they're using it as like a throughway to go from here over here, which is not the intended purpose. I'd rather them use this one. Anyways, what are we going to do with some of these other areas? I have to decide. This area here is very blank and probably could use more office spaces or more low-density residential. Or I could make more low-density here. Because it is near the beach, I could see maybe like commercial zones over here. That's actually not moving cars. That's just parking. That's literally just parked cars. Okay. Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I want to have a small commercial area here. That's kind of like what's the word I'm thinking of? Like a beachfront, I guess, is a way to describe it. Okay, so we'll use this one. Which I'm not sure if I want to use this one in particular, but it's probably okay to use this. Single road cutting through is kind of awkward. Let's see. Oh, but you know what you can do? Hold on, what if we convert this into mono-sided parking lane like this? Ooh. Hold on, what if we do like this? Like that? And maybe we just get rid of all the trees before I go crazy because they're in the way. These dang bushes are in the way. God, there's some... I don't know how to like quickly get rid of these. The problem. I just have to like click all... I have to click them all. There's like no bulk delete. Ugh. Let's get rid of these. There we go. There we go. That looks a little better, right? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So there's this small parking area here. Obviously, we kind of set up, and we'll kind of adjust the floor decals. Again, I want to make this look nice before we start slamming out the other nonsense, because I also downloaded an IKEA and I downloaded a Costco. And like all good things in life, you do need both of them to have a functioning society. What kind of society would you have if you didn't have a Costco or a IKEA? God, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of my furniture I did buy from IKEA, and I am very much not afraid to admit that, because IKEA furniture is not that bad. Will it last you forever? Probably not. Does it last you enough? Yes. And that is perfectly reasonable, I think. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna finagle this a little bit so it's a little here, just like that, and then this one we're gonna shrink it down out here, And this one will push in a little bit there. Perfect. And then this one needs to be pushed out a little bit. Just like that. Okay, so that's a nice clean beach. Let's expand this out just ever so slightly. There you go. So the beach is a little messy. We're not really going to do decorations here for the time being, but at the very least, you could probably justify a couple, I guess, commercial zones here, realistically. Yeah, so let's see. We'll use platter for this. I like platter. So I guess you do low density oceanfront commercial. Or would people live here? I guess probably people wouldn't live in this one. Let's see, waterfront businesses can be as small as a 2x2. Let's see. Commercial. Okay, why don't we do NA low density waterfront is probably correct. And we're just gonna start snapping these down, but we'll put a little bit of spacing between them. I don't think they need to snap either. As long as it's road snapping, it's fine. We could do something like this. So there's a little bit of variety in what stores there are, and we can have like some decorations. Because realistically, these stores wouldn't be all right next to each other. I think we'll make the last one slightly larger. Like that. Yeah, okay, that'll look nice. Okay. But yeah, we need more data centers. God. The fact that I'm allowed to build data centers is such a cursed thing to have the power to do. I think that's like ruined my concept of like what is balanced in this game. Also, we're running into an issue where there's a lot of dead people, and I don't think I have enough places to get rid of the dead corpses. Or I'm sorry, the passed away citizens, which is kind of an issue, and I may need to figure that out. The other thing I'm going to do is, since we are starting to embrace bicycle transit, we are going to start adding bike lanes to our streets. So we're gonna get rid of some of the parking here. I don't want citizens street parking here, but this is gonna be like a bit of a, what's it called, bike lane disaster. At the very least, I want them to be able to park near the station here, and we will put the bike parking thingies, which I don't remember what they're called, but they exist. Bike shelters. You can put like a bike shelter. Actually, this area is so small, you could probably put these bicycle storages. I could put like, put like a small one here. And you could put like a small one. Oh, that one's not set up correctly. But yeah, see, now we should start seeing citizens start taking the bikes soon. And that'll be interesting to behold at some point. This area is also a little messy, where this probably does need have split. I probably want like a 5-lane turn here. These should have dedicated turn lanes, but right now I don't. That's okay. That's okay. God. By the way, every time I keep thinking about like all the different assets, like we could add another family. Oh, you know what? This station does need a family mart. It completely. I know we got rid of the family marts, but this legitimately does need a family mart around the corner. You can never have enough family marts. Actually, I could probably put a. What else can I put here? That's too big. That's way too big. Oh, I could put a Starbucks. I could put a oh my god, I could put a Costco. I don't think I want to put a Costco, but the opportunity to put a Costco is there, and it's calling to me like the Green Goblin mask to put it there, and I'm like, I really shouldn't, but it would be really funny. A lot of other weird stuff here. I think because this area, I could probably put another just general entertainment facility. Like this is a movie theater, and it is kind of big that it could probably just fit perfectly like here. Put a cinema. Because my logic is that this area kind of is like a pseudo entertainment area type thing. Well, shopping center here, right? You got a big giant shopping center, the marketplace. You are right near a station, which does help with where people can come in. So I think putting something like this does make sense. Now, this will need parking because, like all things in life, you can't have enough parking spaces. So we have to figure out how we're gonna put a parking lot here. But I don't want to make this like super urban. I don't want this area to be like dense. This is not a dense area. It's probably like the biggest thing to keep in mind. Like, yeah, I really don't want this to be a dense locale. Look like a small parking lot there. I don't know. I wish I could angle that differently. I should get citizens off of that lot. So yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll keep that feeder here, and I'll find a way to make this look a little better. Like, you just add some trees. I've learned from playing City Skylines, the best way to make your city look better is just put trees everywhere. When in doubt, just add trees. Everything looks better when you add trees. Even if it doesn't make sense, really. Just add them anyways. Just add trees. Why is did that just stack 2 trees on? Oh, it just didn't. What is happening? Why is the tree not? What the heck is going on with the tree? I feel like the anchor point for the tree is really wrong. Did I put some trees underground? It didn't want to put the trees at all, and I'm very concerned that I may have just put like 15 trees underground. Exactly, slap more biomass. How are you doing, VR? Did Kyra stop streaming? Is she done? Oh, legitimately, I think it doesn't want to put the tree because I think the tracks actually are a little above it, and it's probably counting it as like impeding the growth of the tree. Just anarchy. There we go. Look at that. Got some trees there. It looks nicer. See? Just add some greenery. God, it's so ugly. I really don't like this road bend, by the way. I'm gonna adjust this. This road bend was here because I needed something, but the more I look at it, the worse it is. So we're gonna smooth it out a little. The way to smooth it out, I think, is just use this tool. Okay, never mind. I don't want to smooth this out. We're gonna leave it. The more I look at it, the more I'm gonna mess it up. So I'm like, I'd rather not. I'd rather not mess with what was already here. Still don't see any citizens on their bicycles. I would like to see more of them riding their bikes, but alas, there are none. You run short ones and he's not for 7+. Yeah, I don't know how you manage to stream that long, because I can't even stream that long. You are a brave soul for being able to pull that off, because I would be dead. I am not a person who can stream that long. Can I convert this to 5-lane? I just want to convert like this section here. Perfect. All right, so we have turn lane here. We got a turn lane there. Love to see it. Okay. And we should start seeing more. Oh, right. We got to set that up. Okay. I got to do something with this. So I think what you can actually do is you can probably add a bite. You can probably add a bus stop here, and I'd probably be fine. I don't need a big bus stop. I just need a small one is the other thing, too. I don't want anything with like 3. I just need a singular bus station. But I'd have to essentially build it out myself. And that's kind of the other problem. But I think that should be fine. Let's see. I don't want to build this. Like, you can build this gigantic station, which this one will probably be built over here. Because it's like a city center bus station. Like, look at how big this thing is. It's so massive. You don't go live for 2 weeks. Oh, so you're like one of those that you stream like once in a blue moon, right? Like, look at how chunky this thing. You can do so much with this. You can even add like a subway or extra platforms, but we're not gonna use this yet. This is one of those like way later down the line type of deals because it's way too chunky for our needs. And I gotta delete this thing, please. Thank you very much. Well, it's good to see you, VR. Hopefully you're doing well. Okay, as I continue my abomination of a city, as I need to figure out where I'm going to add more data centers. By the way, we are getting bottlenecked here. You might notice there's a lot of traffic. Yeah, unfortunately, the main throughway into our city is this center corridor. And as you might have noticed, the center corridor is a very busy corridor. So we're kind of running into that issue where I don't know how to fix that right now, and I have to figure out how I'm going to do that. And for the time being, it's not a big deal, but I think a lot of these cars are coming from outside the city. In fact, if I take a look at the main line, yeah, a lot of them are people from the outside of the city. So the other solution is we just have more road connections. So right now, a car can hop on this highway, right? So they come in from outside and they can split either into this road, this road will lead them into this main outer area. And then this other one here will lead them down the rim of the highway, but there is an exit point right around here that will allow them to exit at a very tight exit, by the way, onto this section here near the giant shopping center. But I think the Sims don't want to do that right now. Trust me, I could, you want to see a one more lane? You can make stupid highways. Have you ever seen the options that you can do? Have you ever wanted a 7-lane highway? Yeah, you can do that. Did you know you can make this bigger if you really want? If you really hated your Sims, you could do something like, you could just add more lanes. Nothing is stopping you from just adding another lane. Just add more lanes. Just add more lanes. Just a little bit more lanes. Just keep dragging and dragging more lanes. Yes, you too could have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You too can have a 13-lane abomination. You know what's really funny? Every time I think about Texas's highways, where their solution is just add one more lane. Did you know Canada, like Toronto's the same way? They have this giant highway, like the 401 and the 40 something, and their entire shtick is like, what if we just add one more lane? What if we just add another lane? What if we just add more lanes? It's such a mess. It's so funny to look at. I love it's so cursed. How do I delete that stupid thing that I just built? How do I get rid of it? I don't actually want that road. How do I delete it? Delete this one. I don't need that. Okay. It's mostly just DFW that hires civil engineers that were dropped on their heads as babies. Oh, I know, but it's just so funny. I can't believe that they would do this. Oh, that's so funny to think about. Texas is such a funny state. Every time I hear about, like, I watch a lot of YouTube videos about public transit, and I always like seeing... there's this one guy who does like a lot of stuff about Texas, and it's always really interesting just seeing what kind of nonsense Texas is up to at any given point. They are always doing something funny. Okay, I don't know what I'm gonna fit here, but I can probably just fit a Family Mart. Just throw a Family Mart in there, that's not a big deal. The civilians yearn for Family Mart. Heck, I yearn for Family Mart. I love Family Mart. I cannot wait to go visit Japan and go experience Family Mart again. We'll just throw a bunch of trees here. Is the music too loud, by the way? Just let me know if it's ever too loud. Yeah, hasn't that project been delayed again? The whole Texas, more or less the Texas Shinkansen is what I'm gonna call it. I heard that project's been perpetually delayed because they keep delaying it for some reason. It's so weird. Actually, we could... Let's wait till we go to post office. Is there a small post office I can throw in here? Can I fit a post office somewhere here? A little... actually, hold on. I'm pretty sure I can just... I think I can finagle it here. As long as it's got enough of a connection to the road, it's fine. Okay, so that's apparently not close enough, so I have to move it in. Okay, so I've added a small post office here, which is fine. But I do need to adjust the surfaces so it's a little more appropriate. So I'm just gonna drag this out here. There we go. That looks okay, kind of, maybe. Drag this out to match that. Essentially, whatever I don't plan on editing that much, I will try to make the surfaces look correct. And then whatever I'm too lazy to do, I'm just gonna add more trees. Just add more trees. When in doubt, more trees. See, that actually looks not that bad. On city building, we're doing pretty good with the city building. It's just a bit of a mess right now. We're working on this little section here. What is this song, by the way? I need slightly better music. Let's see. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of just add more foliage, and it just makes everything a lot nicer. Unfortunately, because of my stream settings, I did have to crank my stream settings down, so they did kind of look kind of janky at distance. But what are you gonna do when you're trying to stream? Wow, look at that! Look at all these businesses. They're already well in use. You know what? By the way, this city does not have. This city does not have an industrial sector. I completely forgot to put an industrial sector in this city, so all of our goods are imported. We do not produce anything but food. There's a few food factories. That's literally it. We don't make anything else. In fact, you can take a look at our production graph here. Yeah, we are hilariously short on concrete. We actually do make a lot of food, grain. So that's like the one benefit that we have, but we do need some kind of industry at some point. But I don't know how to add more food industry, because unfortunately the pollution from industry is so annoying and I don't like dealing with it. So I just don't ever put industry. Because air pollution does kind of matter. And if you kind of take a look at the air pollution graph, pollution follows the wind. And so you can put the industry over here and it'd probably be fine. But if you start putting industry here, your people are going to choke to death. So eventually we will put industry, but it's going to end up over probably here at some point is probably the safest solution. Especially as it's like right near a rail connection. You can probably put like a giant industrial sector here, but I don't care about doing that right now. So we'll worry about that later. I still really understand this urban centers support railways and urban countries that don't, plus rangers trying to fight. Oh, the eminent domain. It's always the eminent domain claims, honestly. That makes a lot of sense. By the way, this Buc-ee's is losing so much money because no one wants to go to the Buc-ee's. The Buc-ee's is too far. We need to find a way to make the people want to go to Buc-ee's. The problem is finding a way to get them to want to go to the Buc-ee's because it's a little too far from where they live. So I think the solution is we just expand our housing area. Yeah, and that's the correct thing to do. I am debating if I want to add a rail connection that leads all the way out here, but I think that might be a bit of a hassle. Apparently there's a project in to connect Texas with other states as well, but torpedoed by combination fund between French and German interests, not even joking. Oh, the airline industry lobbying. Now look at the airline industry. All they are is a glorified credit card company. How far the mighty have fallen. I always hear stories about how like flying on any airline that's not American is like any non-American airline is just way better than flying on an American carrier nowadays, which is kind of sad. My flight to Japan is going to be on a United Airlines flight, and unfortunately, that's kind of the best thing. That's the best that I got. Like, I thought about flying something like JLA or ANA, but for me, United was the easiest and most convenient solution. So I was like, all right, I'll just do this. I have an idea. We're gonna put a bus station here. Let's see, so we're gonna do a curve. Take the way. We're gonna do a nice. I think I can put a bus station here. The problem is this. I don't want that. I don't want this connection here. This area legitimately doesn't need a bus station, but I think it's kind of fun to have it there anyway. So just get rid of that. There's no light. There we go. And then this section should be, I think, a 3-lane connection in. So this is it should be 5-lane asymmetric. This section should be 5-lane asymmetric like that, because that rightmost lane is going to be a public transit only. But yeah, it'd be nice to ride one of those, but unfortunately I just don't get the opportunity to do so. United's kind of my local carrier, so that's what I end up on most of the time. Is it ideal? It's good enough for me. Okay, so then I can add a bus stop here. Ooh, does it have to be... Wait. What do you mean road? Wait, is this not a valid road? Oh, it's not a valid road. I see. Okay. This actually has to be a standard one-way road with sidewalks, and it's not, and that's the problem. So the correct thing to do is to build this one-way road. We'll have to build this out again from here. Okay, this is gonna be really annoying to do. Hopefully I don't break anything. Oh, God. Can I just not do an alley? How did I do it in the previous one? I did the same exact thing over here. I guess the smarter solution is I could just do a straight turn and it'd be fine. I prefer not to, but maybe that's the solution. I was gonna try to go for like a really cute little like curve here. This might work actually, hold on. So you put a bus station here and then... Can I not convert this into this road? See, like, I don't know how I did the other one. I legitimately have no idea how I did this other one. Look at it, it's so cute. How did I do this? How did I pull this? Oh, wait, I know what I did. I forgot. I have a custom road specifically for this exact purpose. Oh my god, that's right. Road Builder is such a good mod. There we go. You can just do this. Build it out. Perfect. Drag the most wacky corner ever. Okay, and then all you gotta do is probably turn this section into a 5-lane abomination. Like that. Ooh, yeah, just this yeah, just that section. 5 lanes. And then we're just gonna get rid of the signs and stops. But yeah, I like public transit stuff. It's a shame that Texas doesn't have their big ol' thing that they've been working on, but I think a lot of it's really hard to get people also on board with public transit a lot of times, because I'm gonna be real, as much as I like harping on public transit and I'd love to ride more public transit, the public transit options are just super not very good most of the time, and that's kind of like the big problem with public transit in the States, where it's like, yeah, it exists and it'd be nice to use it, but it just sucks 90% of the time, and it's really unfortunate. Like for me, I don't ride a lot of public transit in the States because I don't want to be like, the schedules are just awful. All right, so this is probably the weirdest thing I've done so far, but what this does allow me to do is put a bus station here. There we go. So just add like a nice bus stop there. And then this entire area is probably going to turn into a small green space, like a park. In fact, I'm going to add a park literally right here. It's not a big park, but we got to put something here. Ooh, playground? No. Chirplet Park, Rocket Park. What can I put here? Actually, hold on. I have an idea. Wait, no. I think what we can put here... Yeah, it's also true. Like, the US is not built for public transit. A lot of other countries, they built their cities for public transit, or they kind of force it in. But the US is such a car-centric culture that that's why everything is just cars. Everything is built around the car. Right. Can I put a small office here? What would you put in here? Like, legitimately looking at this area, what would you put? Trying to think what I would put here. God, the main problem I'm gonna have is I don't want I need to download a mod that forces non-traffic here. A water feature with trees. It's a good idea. A fountain would probably be correct. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put like a bunch of these tiny parks. Okay, so we put like a canopy covered park at here. I'll put another one over here, angled slightly different, and then I think we'd put a custom surface here. Let's see, surfaces. Let's see. I think we do something nice like tiles. Hello, Comrade Havel. How are you doing? How's your evening been? Yeah, I think that looks okay, right? That looks fine. And then you'd probably just put a small fountain decoration. Doesn't have to be fancy, but as long as there's a nice water feature. Let's see what I got. I got a lot of... Here we go, like a... Ooh. Let's see. I kind of like this one. It's a little too big, actually. Yeah, it's off balance. Probably something small like this. Probably that's a little too big too. Maybe a small fountain. Ooh, one with a little plant in the middle. Does this thing have water, or did I turn off water completely? Hold on, I might have actually turned off my water. Water quality is medium. What if I crank this to high? Will it break my game? I mean, I guess it's there, so it's not okay. Oh, actually, no, we can do... Hold on. We can actually make this look a little nicer now I think about it. Wait, hold on. We can add, like, food carts. Like a small... Like, a few stalls here. Yeah! Wait, actually, hold on. That would make sense, right? Because you got a bus station there, so you have, like, a small parket here. And you probably have, like, a bunch of small food stalls here. It's like, oh, you want to get some food before your thing? Yeah, just come on by. There we go. Add, like, that, and then... I normally don't actually do this much decorating, but it is kind of fun to do this every now and again to kind of make it look a little more filled. Realistically, the one thing I forgot to download is I forgot to download bloody what's the word I'm thinking of? Vending machine assets, which would probably be what makes this a lot nicer. I really gotta go find some vending machine assets, but kind of forgot. So you can put like a stat. Oh, you can put a sculpture, I guess. Oh, you can put like an arch. Ooh, hold on. How do I shrink this? How do I shrink this thing? Maybe I don't have the mod to let me shrink. Oh my god, whoa. Wait, that almost fits. Wait a second, that almost fits the way I want it to, actually. Maybe that's a little extreme. Hold on. A lot of weird pavilion designs. Let's see. I mean, I guess you'd probably just put like a simple like solar roof thing here and that'd probably be okay. It's not the best looking thing, but hey, at least add some nice variety to it, right? Okay, let's actually hook this into the bus line. So I do not remember what my bus routes look like. Okay, so we're gonna use these two. We're gonna do, this route's not that long yet, so I do need to expand this at some point, but I think we'll just do simple 1, 2, 3, and then loop back to the station, and that should be fine. We'll make, again, it'll look a lot nicer later on. We're just trying to make it function for the time being. I really don't want non-bus cars. One of the things that annoys me about City Skylines 2 is that non-buses can use these exclusive lanes, like public transit exclusive lanes, if it's a shorter way. Like essentially, like the game logic's out, like, oh, you know, it's probably, you know, a real person would cheat their way through to get to, you know, get to their destination faster. I'm just like, this is just annoying. Make it stop. I don't want them to cheat. I want them to obey the law. I was getting rid of the parking here. Would you need parking here? A lot of our parking lots are getting full really quickly, by the way. Let's see if the Buc-ee's is busy yet. Is the Buc-ee's still losing money? Yes, it is. Because there's not enough business here. Yeah, that's right. The Buc-ee's is not that super attractive to people right now, so there's not a lot of business going on in Buc-ee's Landia. Because it's out in the middle of nowhere and there's not enough people. I think once we have cars going to and from left and right, I think there'll be a lot more traffic flowing through the Buc-ee's, but right now it's just, there's not a reason for people to come. No, this is the major interstate. See, look at this giant spaghetti that the map author created. See, it's beautiful, isn't it? I love looking at this spaghetti. To emphasize, to get to this Buc-ee's from this route, imagine this: you have to go here, then you have to so you have to take this left lane, right? Then you have to immediately swap to the right lane as you make a right onto the Dumbbell interchange, follow a roundabout, and then flow this way. I mean, technically, this is the interstate. It's part of the ring of the highway. Lining a highway. That's close enough. I like the look of this. It's aesthetically pleasing this way. It'll be fine. Trust in the process, right? I have not built that much. I have built like this entire section. That's about it. I do need to put something here though. We're gonna have a small plaza here, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna dump here. What do the people want? Oh, you know what? This probably would make sense for for like residential, I think. The problem is I think I'd rather place the residential tower rather than like letting the game figure out, because I think if I don't, it's gonna pick something really dumb. So I'd rather just pick and choose something that looks a little appropriate. Unfortunately, it's always the Chinese ones that are super tall. There's no tall Japanese ones. It's always the Chinese ones. But all the Chinese ones are like stupid high. Like, do I really need this giant tiny tower? What if I used oh, actually, what about Netherlands? Netherlands high density is kind of, you know what? Well, let's do level 5. So we get all the unique ones. Exactly, because I do focus on aesthetics. Aesthetics matter a lot. Duh. That's how this works. This actually is kind of okay. I think this would probably be an office building. Yeah, I think this area is technically an office. The game's not giving me any offices. Is there no offices available? Weird. Oh, here we go. Okay, so why don't we put like a small office building here? Just maybe not one of the Chinese ones because they're like way too tall. So we can probably do northeast, US. Yeah, I think this could be a decent office park, but I just need to find one that doesn't look terrible. But unfortunately, a lot of the high-end ones are a little too big and too expensive for what we need. No, must equal level. Is there no level 5? Oh, it's greater than, less than equal. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, like we don't need a tower like this. Realistically, this one probably a little better. It's a little too tall. Let's see, 4x4. I think a 3x3 would fit. Actually, a 4x4. Ooh, you know what? That doesn't look that bad. You put an office right there. I need something a little more modern. Those things vanish as the huddled masses starve outside. Listen, the huddled masses can go join us in our beautiful towers, okay? They just need to be able to pay the fee to live. If they cannot pay the fee to live, then why live at all? Is that not how it works in this realm? Actually, this is fine. Actually, I like this tower. You know what? That doesn't look that bad. I think that actually looks perfectly fine. I'm gonna move this. Not that. I need the prop. How do I grab that? Is it a building? Is it a prop? Okay. There we go. That looks fine. Yeah. Okay. And then what I'm gonna do is this entire area. I'm just gonna plop it with trees. I don't feel like decorating the rest of this. When I'm lazy and I don't want to decorate, the solution is just add more trees. Unfortunately, I don't have any like cute Japanese trees like sakura or anything, so we're just gonna add these more oak trees, which, you know, they function fine. They do exactly what they're meant to. I'm gonna change the lighting. Hold on. I don't really know what's the correct way to layer trees, I'll be honest with you, so I'm just going entirely off of vibes. I'll probably throw some like smaller random trees in there to... Oh god. Oh no, the trees are stacking on top of each other. Let's do that real quick, and then we'll probably just add a few more. I don't know, lindens are fine. Yeah, they'll add some color. It'll look a lot better when it's not November, or not fall. Actually, wait, I can change this. We are yeah, it's not so much vibe coding as it is vibe decorating, which I guess is technically better than vibe coding. That actually does not look that bad. That actually looks perfectly fine. Okay. I need to add the I need to build this entire section, because this building also is kind of just nonsensical. It just exists. Like, do I really need the Sears Tower? I'm not even joking. Have you ever seen the Sears Tower? This is the Chicago Sears Tower. Or what do they call it now? The Willis Tower? I don't know anyone who calls it the Willis Tower. Everyone I know calls it the Sears Tower. You cannot make me call this thing the Willis Tower. It is the Sears Tower. Sears is still a legitimate company that still exists, and we love Sears here. I'm so sad. Sears used to be a good company. Also, I have no idea where all our electricity is coming from. I should probably check this real quick. Are we paying for our electricity? What is our power coming from? Okay, we are actually making our own electricity. By the way, yeah, our entire colony, or our entire city is kind of a bit of a mess. I kept saying, I don't know why I said colony. I should probably check our fire and everything, so... Yes, we got fire coverage even at the Buc-ee's, which is fine. We got medical coverage everywhere. We got police coverage everywhere, so we're good on that. That's fine. Listen, it's kind of hard to get out of the Rimworld brain mode, you know what I mean? If you play Rimworld enough, you're just... All you think about is like, oh yeah, it's a colony. You know, it's a colony. Just gonna straighten that out a little bit. Just make that a little nice of a curve. That's not that one. Let's just finagle this a little bit. There's not a very nice curve here, but it functions fine. I don't know what happened here, by the way. I probably should fix this, but that's a problem for later. I actually don't like this interchange. This interchange I really don't like, but I don't really know how I'm gonna fix this is the problem. One option is I convert this entire highway section into an underground, and then I don't put a highway interchange here. Or if I do, I have to finagle it in such a way that it's going to be still super tight, but I really don't want to do that necessarily, because I think I'm going to need at least one more interchange. Probably just maybe over here, and we'll just kind of eat the Buc-ee's connection here, and then we'll use that to hook into this main area of the city. I think that'll be my plan. I think that's probably the easiest way to do this. I need better music than Civilization. I'm really addicted to this one song from Deltarune, and I really need to play Deltarune at some point because it's so Toho coded, and I love it so much. We're listening to it right now. Someone made an arrangement where it's called Pedal Dance, and it's used by like some of the characters that got introduced in the latest chapter, and it's surprisingly fun to listen to. I really like it. I know what I'm gonna do. This area is gonna be a small suburban neighborhood. I think I was gonna make this like a big park area. No, it's gonna be small suburban. Yeah. The problem is I don't know how I'm gonna grab in here. That's gonna be my main concern. I think I also want to start using more curves rather than just doing straights all the time. So we'll do straight, and then we'll curve in over here. We'll do a complex curve, actually. And then we'll just find a way to make it look nice. Like that? Yeah, that's fine. Screw it. We'll make it work. Okay, so then we're gonna pull out my favorite. These I think this area is gonna be like a more rich. I would say this area is like the richer neighborhood. I have no excuse. I probably don't have an excuse. You're right, but I will pretend like I have an excuse anyways. So I'm just gonna build a bunch of these like streets here. I have an idea. So I think what we'll do is we're just gonna grab random points and just kind of finagle them, and then straight across, and then like that around the rear side, and then we can hook in there. That's probably okay. It looks pretty bad. In fact, this is probably pretty bad, but it's okay. We'll make it work. Okay, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of this, get rid of that. Okay. Okay, how do I turn this area into a beautiful, small residential section of the neighborhood? Oh wait, I know. We'll use platter. We'll use platter, and I'm just gonna grab the JP housing. Let's see. Japanese housing, low density. We'll use this one. Okay, and we'll just use 2x2s. I guess it's probably fine. And I just have to make sure it like lines up fine. We'll try to use the inner one here as the main connection point, and it should be fine like this. And then we'll just like randomly adjust the size as I see fit. You can put like a 2, like that, and then we can maybe do this one's a little too tight. The curve is too tight here to put it. Just the other one. Compact. Cram this one down here like this. I think this one also can afford a smaller one, but I don't really know what I'm gonna put. Yeah, it doesn't like that size. Oh, and I can set this back slightly. There we go. Yeah, small setback like that. Okay, then we don't, oh, we do the setback. I think the 2s need the setback, yeah. Shrink this down a little bit, like that. We can probably put a small park there, and then hook this back in. We'll switch to the standard low-density residential. Actually, we're gonna do a 3 wide, I think is fine for some of these. Swap back to the other one. No, I want the low-density. I'm gonna put like a really big one here. I think this one is gonna be a big house. Just like that, and we'll put like another 1, 2. We're putting a little bit more space in these houses than other areas, just because I think it'll look a little nicer. And then I'm also gonna just grab my handy dandy eyedropper tool, and we're gonna go grab a few of the 1x1s that I need to fill in the rest of this area to make it look more appropriate. Nope, wrong one. I need the 1x1. Okay, there we go. So I can just use this to fill in the gaps, essentially. Isn't that great? You can just use things to fill in. Maybe we don't. Snap to roads, but don't maybe snap that much. Okay, it wants to snap forever. Okay, so I guess we're snapping. Let's see how it looks first, and then I'll decide how I want to add more. Because I think if you just don't snap it, it's fine. Cool. All right, so we have a new, slightly richer neighborhood. That's a bit of a disaster, but that's okay. What are we listening to now? Civilization 6 Rise and Fall. How about that? God, I also need to pee. I've been at this for 2 hours. I need to... It's about time to use the restroom. Oh, no. These housing assets always have a weird issue where sometimes the roads just don't want to connect for specific buildings, and it's really, really odd. You can see it's happening here. That. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna delete that, and then I'm just gonna add a new platter. Let's see. To make sure this is JP housing, we'll use low density is fine. And I think if I just finagle it like this, it should be okay. There we go. So we can have a few more houses. So the small neighborhood is coming together, and you'd probably put like a small set of commercial spaces in the middle is what I would realistically imagine. Actually, you know what this neighborhood needs? You know what every neighborhood needs? I'll tell you what it needs. You need a family mart. Is the music... Yeah, I'm lowering it. It's a little loud. A little too big. The family mart's a 3x3, so I actually cannot fit a family mart in here. I have to destroy, like... Actually... I don't actually have a Lawson asset, which is the funniest thing ever. Yeah, I actually don't have a Lawson asset. I'd probably just put a bunch of small commercial zones and call it a day. I think this Nara one is only 3x3. What is... I really want to know what this... I really want to know what this big one is. What the heck is the 4x6 Nara asset? I really need to know. I'm so curious. Put this down. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot. I have 7-Elevens. We can put a 7-Eleven. There we go. We found our asset for this corner here. We just put a 7-Eleven. Perfect. I love it. It's so dumb. That is a very dirty looking 7-Eleven. That's fine. We'll just put a few trees to kind of hide it. Realistically, you probably need some parking here, so I'd probably just put a small parking lot. God, even the tiny lots are too small. That's so funny. Sounds your parents were talking about you. It's okay. I know the feeling. I too am a dum-dum. You know, the best... You know who tells me that? Ray. It's okay. I understand. Ray yells at me whenever I do something stupid, and I accept this as my fate in life. I guess that's kind of what happens when you marry someone. You're kind of just like roped into whatever they're gonna call you. Oh, there we go. Ooh. That looks... I mean, it is a little dirty, but hey, you got tobacco, ATM. I think that's medicine. Can't remember off the top of my head. Realistically, you would have a parking lot, or so you can have something here. It is called being... Yeah, it is called being accountable. You're right. Actually, you know what I can do here? I don't know if this is feasible. Can I turn this into like a one... I turn this into a... this road? Oh, you can. Ooh. Perfect. That looks so dumb. Oh, it's sake? Okay, thank you. I don't know the kanji tool. How are you doing, Nico? Hopefully you've been doing well. Yes, Havel, how can I help? Okay, I don't know what I can fit in this corner though. I don't think I have a small enough asset that I can just dump in here that's like a shop. Let's see. It's a 7-Eleven. Okay, so I just need it to be at least 1 deep, but I don't care how wide it is. I guess I put already... Oh, that's right, because it's a what's it called? It's a special ass. I need to download... Okay, I know what I'm gonna download for this at some point, but I don't have enough. I can probably put a 2-depth house or shopping center here. Let's see if I put like a small... okay, you can probably put like a small commercial lot here. Let's see, so this is rank 5. I hate how this is literally just the same asset, but you just add a parking lot. Whatever. What is this? Film file rental. Sure, why not? Okay. We'll throw a few parks in here just to kind of make it look at least somewhat presentable. I'll just put like a mini park. Oh no, well, that sucks. Did not mean to do that. Very well, lovely city. Well, it's kind of a mess. I was considering putting a data center here, but I was like, I shouldn't put a data center here. We do actually have a comically sized data center hanging around one of the other areas, but I'm trying not to add that many yet. But we will at some point. Yeah, we're adding small parks because that's probably the best that I can kind of fit in this locale. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add more trees. Honestly, just add more trees. When in doubt, just throw more trees on it. I've mostly been using oak trees just because it's just the easiest thing to use, and it's big, it's wide. You can use alders, which are kind of similar functionality, so you could just do like, oh yeah, look at this, it's a small park, there's a small commercial shop here that probably sells you stuff. Realistically, what you probably should do, because I think what I should have been doing here for this section at the very least, let's get rid of these trees. What actually makes a little bit more sense, I'd probably add a row of bushes. I think realistically, yeah, I think bushes make more sense here. I just don't know which one I want to use. Probably this one. I'll use the line tool and we just same. Let's see, all the terrain, and then make sure that it's essentially fence mode. You probably do something like this and just kind of follow the curve of the road essentially. Do it correctly, kind of like that, I guess would probably work, right? And then you just kind of keep following it and then kind of terminate like right around here. I don't know, what do you think? Does it look how does that look? Does it look a little too ugly? Kind of whatever. They believe in hedges in Japan. I don't know, I should be looking at actual maps of Japanese cities, but I've been like, oh, we're just gonna vibe it. We're just gonna vibe the city into existence. I don't think I like how that looks. Yeah. Oh god, I don't know how to delete this. Nah, I'm not fond of it. We're just gonna switch back to trees. I don't know how to mass select the tree or these bushes, which is kind of the annoying thing. Yeah. Just get rid of it. Let's do this. I think trees would probably be better ultimately. I do like the trees more, but I think we'll use like a thinner line of trees, like spruces would probably be fine. Oh shoot. Maybe we don't. We'll just manually place these. Oh wait, I have a brush tool. Why don't I just use the brush tool? I'm making this way harder for myself. And just add a couple spruces, and then I'm gonna do something over there. I just haven't decided yet. And then we'll throw in a few oak trees, just kind of, you know, flesh it out a little bit. I definitely want to add one of these manually, like right here. Probably throw a few in, because again, this area is supposed to be a little bit more like upper class living. Is kind of the vibe that I'm trying to get with this section here. So yeah, the houses are a little more nicer, and obviously we want to keep them a little more sequestered away from the peasantry. The peasants don't deserve to see who's living here. I do need to make more districts, by the way. I need a name for this, like, so I need to name these districts. I have not had a proper name for these. God, I'm actually kind of curious how many people live in this district, and I guarantee you it's not that many. What small building can I throw on here? I really want to put this family mart here. It's not necessary, but I'm like, I kind of want to. But didn't I just put a family mart somewhere nearby? Yeah, there's a family mart over there. Would there realistically be a family mart this close by? Put a Starbucks. Could have put a Costco. I could destroy this entire neighborhood and put a Costco. Yeah, I don't have a lot of small commercial buildings. I don't know, we'll just let the game build something. I don't really care what it puts down, and then actually delete that. I don't want, that's a little too big. I want it to be a little smaller. About that size should be fine. And then, I don't know, we'll just dump some trees to kind of flesh it out like that. Yeah, see what the power of a few trees can do? Just adds like a little bit of color and pop and pizzazz and really makes it a lot less, you know, monotonous. And we'll just use some of the other colors here. Some spruces and oaks. I don't know if spruces and oaks can be in the same area together, but quite frankly, it's just mostly painting it to look nice, so it doesn't really matter. See? That looks kind of nice. All right. We have our small little neighborhood. I think, however, I don't even know if all of these have garages. Realistically, these houses would not have garages. So because cars are required, you do need to have a small parking lot nearby. So I think this area here is probably going to get a parking lot. Let's add like a wide lot here. Oh, it eats up so much space. I hate how that looks. There needs to be more compact. There's technically parking lot assets I was supposed to download. I kind of forgot. I would say let's build an underground parking lot, but we're also right near the ocean, so I don't really want to do that. Oh, is it a sub thing? Yeah, I saw that that's a new feature. I didn't realize that's how that works now. So I think we'll just put like 2 of these here. It's fine. And then I'm just going to merge the surfaces together. I'm just going to... There we go. Perfect. And then I'd probably just... add a few more I'll probably just add like some bushes here. Or like these small trees. Just kind of have that bit of... Because the trees do add like a small noise barrier between the areas, so it is keeping it a little separate, and it's a good way to just fill in blank space that I just don't know what to do with. So now we have a parking lot. That's fine. So what do you think? I think this neighborhood's kind of nice. Okay, anyone's got a good name for this neighborhood, let me know, because I'm about to build a district on it. So this district will encompass from here, down all the way to this section here, and then basically just this entire small neighborhood section. Actually, yeah, that's fine. I think just this section. I do want a separate district here that encompasses this, and actually I think I wanted to go all the way up here. I think this district would be up all the way. Let's see, up here, probably this section all the way down like that. Where did I start this? Okay, so I should start it here. It is near the ocean, and we are like a weird Japanese, pseudo-Japanese themed city. Oakwood Beach. I could do that, yeah. It's not the worst idea. I'm gonna just drag this out all the way here. Okay. So there's I want to know how many people are living here. 55 residents live here. The average income's a little low. Okay. That's not too bad. I kind of like how that looks. And I still don't have my tram system up and running, which is something I've been meaning to do for the god knows how long. I should probably get that up and running. God, the traffic is so bad. This tower, unironically, is probably generating 90% of the traffic because it just has 5,000 people living in this stupid thing. It is right near a beach, which is kind of nice. So people who live here just have the primest of real estates to kind of hang out in. This corner needs buildings. Okay. What am I doing here? Probably just throwing in some medium density apartments is my guess. So I think for this one, have anything here for this category? No. I think for this area. So you know what's funny? This tower does actually have bus service. It has its own bus station here, and it's literally also right across the station from this bus stop, and it is now across the street from, or across the corner from the tram station, which is going to essentially be, the tram station is going to be like essentially like a left to right. I don't think it's going to like loop. It's just going to be a direct left to right connection. So that's the plan for that at the very least. I don't think I can do anything else beyond that for it. It's really all I can do with the tools that have been given to me. Okay. So I think just real quick, I'm just going to dump a few medium density apartments here. I don't want anything tall. I'm going to get rid of these towers. Those towers just do not look nice. Let's see. Do we use the JP ones? I guess since we're trying to, we'll just use the JP ones. Is fine. Let's see what it spits out. All right. God, I can't get over this stupid giant thing. Let's see how the Buc-ee's is doing. Okay, so the Buc-ee's is currently $300,000 in debt on a month, or net loss per month. But that's okay, because all they sell is convenience food, which is funny. What the? Is this supposed to storm? What the heck? I heard like the giant thunder thing. You want a Buc-ee's slum? We could build a Buc-ee's slum. Hold on. You might be onto something. Wait, no, you're onto something. You're so right. We can build a slum, the Buc-ee's employee slums. This is very temporary, but this is really stupid. Hear me out. High density, low rent housing. Let's see, what do I have access to? Where's the low rent housing? High density. Low rent housing. Oh, perfect. Yeah. It's not a trailer park. We could build a trailer park on the Buc-ee's trailer park. Probably not. It's a little too deep. Maybe like this. Like that. The Buc-ee's slums. That's so awful. There's no public transportation. Oh my god, this is so bad. I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? I'm probably gonna regret this. That's fine. I mean, you legitimately could build a trailer park if you really, really wanted to. Like, there is trailer park assets in a sense. Essentially, if you go to single family residential, crank this on to level 1, and then just go to, I believe it's NA housing is what it is, so North American, or I have a bunch of, these are a bunch of Chicago ones. What are the Old Town? I don't know what this is. Oh, I know what this is. Okay, yeah. Yeah, if you do like NA low density residential, there's a lot of options that are just straight up trailer park coded, and you can just slam them all together and it's generally fine. Something like, okay, like this, right? Like that's kind of like a trailer park home. Kind of. They eat up a lot more land than I was thinking. Okay. The slummies. Oh, welcome to slummies. Oh, it's so terrible. All right, well, you know what? That's where people live now. It's gonna bring business to the Buc-ee's because you know what? Oh, you know what this is? You know what it actually is? I got it. This is the Buc-ee's corporate town. If you live here, you work for Buc-ee's. Okay, these are the people who run the shop. Okay, they all live in these apartment buildings. That's what's happening. It's so terrible. Would the Beaver ever stand for this? I don't know. I've never been to a Buc-ee's. Now I'm kind of curious. Would the Beaver ever allow such a thing to happen? You know what I need? I need to download an amusement park asset, and then we could have the Buc-ee's amusement park. This deviated so far away from being a Japanese themed city, and it's just turning into whatever I'm throwing into this abomination. Like, some of this does make sense. Like this area, I would like to build near the mountains at some point, but it's kind of difficult to start moving in towards there. But it's slowly turning into an American abomination of a city, and I can't. It is fun. I kind of want to build a port. Oh my god, wait. We could turn this into the port of Buc-ee's. Like, unironically, we do need a port. I was going to build the port over here, but there is an opportunity to put the port here instead, and I am vaguely interested. I don't know how to build a port very well. Every time I try to build a port, it always looks terrible. So I might need to look online and just see how people build ports real quick, because there's not much going on. Oh, the other thing I forgot, we got to check on our education. So right now, there's no college in the city, and therefore our citizens are uneducated imbeciles, and they cannot fill some of the more higher needed jobs to function, to make our society a high-tech society. So we need to figure out how we're going to put a, I don't have a temple asset. There's a bunch that, I saw someone make one, but I didn't add it yet. We do need a college. I believe there's literally a JP College asset, but it's not super useful in this scenario. Because it's basically like a community college design, and I don't know where I would put this. You could put it near the Buc-ee's, but that would make even less sense. What is this song? Pre-atomic era, Georgia. Oh, right, okay. Let's see. What other songs do I have? Fire Emblem 3 Houses OST. That's fine. We'll do that. The question is, do we use any of these? Oh, actually, no. If I'm going to move all the tall buildings to this abominable area, I have an idea. So, some of these unique buildings that came with, what is this mod, or what is this asset pack? There's like some big asset pack that came with a bunch of buildings, but I believe one of these actually does come with a built-in college if you're willing to pay for it. This one has a shopping mall. This one you can throw in a city college and library. So I need to move the big tower over here. So here's my plan. We're gonna move the big tower over here, and then we're gonna also give it its own, we're gonna connect it to the tram line instead of the bus line. Okay, and then from there, maybe I should probably build the tram line first so I have an idea where the hell I'm going. That's probably correct. Yeah, let's start building the tram line. I think it's something we've been putting off. By the way, I forgot, we can actually change the trains. So we're using this, we're using the, what is this? The Meitetsu 3500, but you actually just can change it. I do have a bunch of mods that have a bunch of different train assets. So for example, I could change this into, say, the JR, the one on the Yamanote, for example, you can just switch it to. We can switch it to like an 11-car abomination. This is realistically about 7 cars long, so I'm just going to change it and you can see what that looks like in a bit. But you can see, yeah, like some of these have like intense traffic. Like look at how backed up this highway is. Data centers. Oh, it's too late. We already have one. Look at it. In fact, I'm going to upgrade the data center with more coverage. And I can't, I don't like this 3 houses singing theme. Oh, so I do have a mod that adds custom transit menus, just as an FYI. So my my transit menus look a little different. It's not vanilla. I hear if you do that, you probably will stop the data center from existing, but you're probably gonna ruin your local, you know, ecology. So if you want to do that, you can. Just be warned. We can add more network capacity. We're gonna add more network capacity to our data center. It doesn't do anything visually, but you can see that our network capacity is at stupid high, and it extends all the way out there, which is great. God. All right. So now that we've set up the Buc-ee's corporate work town, it's still losing money, but there is now lots of people working here, so that's great. Okay. How do I put this together? So we want to build the, I need to move the, I don't want to cut over these houses is what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want to rip through these. So my goal is I want to build the tram line over here, and we're going to force a, and we don't want to destroy things, right? What is this? Tram, no road. Okay. Little tram track. So I think if I do this at 10 above, oh, it's trying to make that a, I don't want that. Oh, that's awkward. Really? It has to turn it into a, oh, I don't want these to be roundabouts is the problem. So maybe I do have to cut through some of these houses. I think I might actually, oh my gosh, what's the minimum amount of houses that I have to carve through? Okay, I have to carve through 1 lane of houses. That's fine. I think that's an acceptable sacrifice. Yeah, I think that's an acceptable sacrifice. We don't have a choice. That's fine. Yeah, it's tragic, but it's the only way that I can get this to fit. How are you doing, Riston? Hopefully you're having a good evening, comrade. Okay, then we're gonna have to hook these one-ways in at some point, because these are one-way tracks. So we'll just, I believe this left one can probably just go straight across, and then the other one has to probably curve in. We'll use a complex curve. So we'll do 1, 2, 3. All right, that's super clean. I love how that looks. Okay. So now we just have to we have to draw out where I'm gonna put the, so here's my thinking. I can have the Sears Tower and the Silver Dragon Abomination share the same transit stop, essentially, and we could put it in the middle. We could also turn this transit stop into a park area over here, which would probably make the most amount of sense. The other thing at some point is I do need to find a way to maybe bring the tram near the train station, but let me use the restroom real quick, because I've been meaning to do that for a bit. Let's see, you can all gaze at, let's see, what's a good area to look at? Let's see. I'm gonna give you all an aesthetic look while I go use the restroom. All right, how about this? You can go look. What's an aesthetic angle? I think this, yeah, here, this is a nice angle. You can kind of just gawk at the everyday civilians going about their life. All right, I'll just hide the UI while I go use the restroom. Yeah, I think that's fine. Actually, no. Let's have it. I like this area. We'll go over this area because this is where the train station is. I like the train station. Perfect. All right, I'll be right back. And I don't know where the hiding thing is. Speaking of the price of progress, I am utterly astounded at just how long that California high-speed rail project is just not moving. It is so tragic. Oh, can you imagine if the US had the Shinkansen everywhere? Oh, you could go across the country for cheap. Cheaper than a plane ticket, probably. Actually, the problem is that plane tickets are, if you're trying to go cross-country, actually not that expensive in the grand scheme of things if you know when to buy and depending on where you're flying into. The main benefit really at this point in the US would be you wouldn't have to worry about hopping onto what's it called, like going through TSA, unless they start inventing train TSA, in which case, what's the point? Train TSA would be super obnoxious. Actually, you know what else was super annoying about the lobbying thing too, about stopping the California high-speed rail network? Because there's that one time when everyone got super into God, what was that stupid thing called? The Hyperloop? Yeah, everyone was like, oh, the Hyperloop is gonna be the future. We don't need this other stuff. And it's just like, no, you actually did in fact need that other stuff, because the Hyperloop is not gonna save you. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but it was like, I remember reading somewhere that the whole reason that a certain someone promoted the Hyperloop was because it was essentially going to push people away from the high-speed rail until they can get the Hyperloop built instead. And yeah, it was a bit of a disaster. Okay, where am I gonna build this? Yeah, no, the Tesla tunnel's different. The Tesla tunnel was like, Las Vegas wanted an underground road network, or like an underground rail network, I think, to connect some of the different buildings. And then their solution, when Elon Musk came in and just said, well, just buy all our Teslas, we'll build a tunnel. And then so instead of having an underground like mass transit network, you have an underground set of Teslas that you have to pay to hop into as a pod. And by the way, there's no escape. If you get stuck in your car and a fire breaks out down there, you're trapped in that Tesla and you will burn to death. It is not a good idea. Don't ride the Tesla tunnel. You will die. Do not ride the Tesla tunnel. The Hyperloop is the vacuum tube. Yeah, that was the vacuum tube idea that they were really trying to push. Can I force this to be an 8-lane abomination? I don't think I can, right? It's probably not worth trying to push this to 8 lanes. All right, let's figure out how we're gonna do this. So I need to figure out how I'm gonna connect this to everything. So what if I just, okay, let's build this out. But yeah, it was a stupid vacuum tube nonsense. Okay, so I think we just do a cross. How do I want to build this out? I'm just gonna pick a random spot. I don't really care if it looks correct, and then we'll just vibe it out. Vibe it out like this. So probably it's like a 90. You know what I should do? Hold on. The more logical thing is I should probably pull up Google Maps, and I should probably look and see how an urban center in Japan is designed. Because quite frankly, I don't know. Again, I'm learning how to build cities. I'm not like one of those YouTubers who know how to make like the most beautiful of cities. I am not that good. I am pretty awful at this, quite frankly. The fact that this even functions is probably a miracle. Actually, you know what probably would make the most sense is, we don't have the highway here. If this highway wasn't here, I probably would have sunk this highway down, and then, because I think at some point, logical development of this city would basically get rid of this entire food farm section and replace it with more urbanization, if not a suburbanization, is probably what would happen realistically. But that's obviously not what's happening right now, so we're just kind of finagling this, and I don't know why that's not linking correctly, but that's okay. Okay, so that's our main cross streets. So how do we pivot into smaller streets? That's the real question we need to be asking ourselves. We should also be, I forgot one other thing too that does happen a lot in Japanese streets is they make judicious use of, what's it called? One-way roads, and we have not been using a lot of one-way roads, which is kind of interesting. That's kind of my own fault for not really using one-lane roads, but we probably should be. Okay. So I need to find a way to hook into this, and I want to turn wherever this goes into a giant park. So I'm wondering if this corner here is what I want to use. I think that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna turn this corner into where the tower is. We'll put it like right up against the water. Hold on, I'm gonna pause the game so nothing breaks in half, but I'm thinking, yeah, we're gonna relocate this here. It looks so bad. What if we put it on the island? Oh, I guess realistically that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I think we'd put this here. And we'll just kind of plop it down, maybe approximately here. Because I'm imagining like an entire campus, because there is a college attachment that's part of this. Oh, you know what? No, you put it on this. I have an idea. I'm ready to play Persona again. I love Persona 4. I never finished Persona 5, but Persona 4 is a game that I have very, very fond memories of, and so I'm really excited to be able to play it again. I really, really do love Persona 5, or 4. It's one of my absolute favorites. Hold on, I need to just draw some measuring roads. So like, this is fine, and we can delete this one. Okay, so that's not as far as I'd like, but I think that's okay. So we're gonna delete this one. I can probably just finagle a road here. No, it's gotta be like this. There we go, so that's correct. And then we're gonna delete this one, we're gonna bend that over. Did I play vanilla? I played through part of 5 on vanilla, and then I got it on PC, and I have it on my Steam Deck, and I tried playing it, but I never got around to finishing it is the problem. Like, I do want to finish it at some point, but I just have like a bajillion other games that I'm playing, and a little bajillion other things I'm trying to do that it's very hard to find time to actually finish playing Persona. That's fine. As long as that... This area, I don't really care if it's hooked up correctly, but I need this one to be hooked up. So, can I move the big, giant fuck-off tower over here? It does fit. So you put it in the corner, right? Okay, so there's the tower. It overlooks the bay. And then realistically, you can probably put the college now. The college does eat up a decent amount of space, but as long as it's across the street... Is it actually... Oh! Oh, it's short by 1! I think you could probably put the college by the water. Why is that not working? Overlapping with what? Overlapping items. Oh, is it overlapping with the trees? Oh, it's the surface. Okay, that's fine. I don't really care. Okay, so this entire area is going to become a giant complex, is the plan. A geotechnical institute. Oh god. Where would I even fit this? It's not really a spot that... I'd have to move the tower like 1 tile over, which is probably annoying to do. Because the other thing too is I need to figure out where I'm going to put the station, right? The station's got to go here too. This area would also need a bus station system as well. It wouldn't just have to be this. Like, you would need a mixed combo of buses and trams to kind of get the effect that I would like to have. Because again, we're using the tram for the inner city aspect. Now, I do have an elevated tram station. Gotta find which one I want to use. I could also pivot to like a modern elevated tram station. Ooh, look at that. It's got a smaller profile. It is quite modern in design. Probably have road on each side would probably be correct. But I think I am going to keep using this other one. I like this one a lot. It's a lot more compact. Ooh, yeah, that looks kind of questionable. Let's not do that. Let's move this slightly back in. Okay. So we'd have to turn this entire area into a park, and I still need to figure out... I don't need to put the Geotechnical Institute, but I feel like if I'm already building this, I might as well put it down anyways. Actually, no, we don't need it. This primarily adds oil deposits, but we're not an oil-based area. This is such a mess. Alright, let's do this, and then let's get the tram up and running. But yeah. You know what's funny? Persona 4 was actually my very first Persona game. I got it. I remember like one time I was like looking for games for my Vita, and I saw, what is this Persona? What is this? Oh, it looks kind of cool. And then so I bought it. And that's how I came to play Persona. And that's how, yeah, that's literally it. That's the entire story of me playing Persona. Is just, I saw it at GameStop one day and I needed something to play, and yeah. It's very interesting too, because I played it on the Japanese dub because that, or the English dub because that's what it was available in. And I have a nice respect for the English dub. I think the English dub, because it's the first one I played with it, I really enjoyed it. I heard they recasted all of the Persona 4 VAs for the new version, for what is it called, for remake, which is a little sad. I think that is kind of tragic, but I mean, realistically, they were probably going to do that no matter what, I think. I think no matter what, that was bound to happen. I think I have to do it like this. I guess I could just do a straight. Oh wait, what am I doing? I have to do it from here. That looks fine, actually. Perfect. But yeah, they had to recast the entire I think the English cast of Persona 4, which is a little tragic, but I do kind of get it. I guess they were just like, yeah, we need a new group of people doing this. So it's unfortunate. Actually, you know what I could do? We could have an elevated tram depot. Okay, so I think I can do this. What's the smallest tram depot that I can put? The small one here? The other option is I just kind of put a tram depot and I forcibly, I don't know, loop it into the upper section. God, that'd be so messy. But it could work. I just don't know how I'm supposed to hook into the tram line. You know, because it's elevated, so I need to build a road that goes up. Okay, here's my plan. We're gonna move this. We're gonna move the big giant Sears Tower. We're gonna just finagle it maybe a little over here is okay. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need it somewhere out of sight. Okay, there we go. So we got the two giant towers that are gonna make a big chunk of this skyline that we've now set up. And then I think what I want to do is, if I do this right, hold on. Okay, so if I do this right, I'm going to do a small alley. I think the way you do this is you set this up, you make a new road, make it 10 feet high. We're going to plug it into the geometry like this. Okay, like that's fine. And then we're going to make it I'm going to put a key? No, it's a retaining wall. Like that. Okay. Perfect. Okay. And then... Wait a second. Can I put a retaining... Oh, I can put retaining walls here too. Actually, wait, this actually doesn't look that bad. Hold on. No, probably don't want to do that. Okay, so with that logic in mind, we're going to switch to the ground tool. I've learned a lot from watching YouTubers play this game, I'm not gonna lie. When you watch a YouTuber play this game, you get some crazy ideas, so I want to make sure this is at like 10 feet high. Then we just drag it out. Okay, so we do need to make it a little higher. It's not high enough. Just a little higher, thank you. Probably maybe give it a few more... Give it a few more feet. Okay, maybe we make it 12. I think 12 is correct. Make sure. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we should do this. So we're just gonna flatten this up, make this 100%. And then the main issue I'm running into is you might notice that there's a bit of a gradient here, which is not what I want. I want this to be like perfectly flat. It might actually be 13 feet is what I'm looking for. Yeah, 13 is what I'm looking for, okay. But yeah, Persona. I am excited. I should probably finish Persona 5 at some point, but we'll have to see if I ever have time to finish it, because I barely play... I play a very specific subset of video games that I think Ray wishes I didn't play. I think she wishes I played better games, but tragically, I like my garbage. As we all know, I am a big connoisseur of trash. What does this look like if I just plop this here? Okay, so that will flatten the land. Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's actually okay. I play Battlefield 6 and I play Forza Horizon 6, which is not really trash, but it is not something I think Ray would want me to play most of the time. She'd rather have me play Pokemans. Okay, so if I did this right, I should be able to just... It's fine, just, let's see. Okay, turn this off. I want to hook into this point here, but I cannot seemingly grab that tile, which is very annoying. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to finagle this. Does that work? Wait. Oh no. Did I build the wrong one? Oh shoot, yeah, it's the wrong one. I need to build the other one. It's this one here. So I think, yeah, I think that if you do this right, you can kind of just force this in here. And then as long as you force it on the correct side on the other side here, we'll let this hook in like that. Oh, it's a straight tile. Perfect. There we go. So there's our tram. Okay, so now we're gonna build the tram line itself, and let's see if this works. This is so stupid. All right, we're just gonna do two separate lines that are going the same way. So we'll go one. Oh, it is one way, right? So we'll just go 1, 2, 3, and then that's the loop back out. Oh, it does need a loop at the end. Okay, wait, hold on. I gotta build a loop. You want Pizza Tower? How is Pizza Tower? I've never played it. I have some of my friends who've played it. They say it's really fun, but it's not something I've ever really been interested in personally. Oh wait, can I replace this with a two-way? Oh, if I could replace it with a two-way, this would be way easier. But I cannot change the actual lines on the inside, so how do I finagle this? It demands a one-way. It really wants a loop. Sometimes I don't want to do a loop. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I think we have to. Can I force it like this? Oh god. Okay, so I need to force it in somehow, which is annoying because I don't think this is ultimately not the terminus, but I need this. I want to make sure this line runs, which is kind of my biggest concern. So I have to straight up build the most obnoxious and ridiculous curvature so we can loop back around essentially. Not an easy way to do this. Can I just build a straight line between these two? Would that be fine? It's one hard to master, really gotta be. Well, as long as you're having fun, that's what matters ultimately in the end, right? All right, I don't know if this loop will work, but it'll have to work for now. I just need to make sure this functions. The same thing on this side too, because we're right-hand drive, so this would be the loop point. Okay. Let's see if this works. We're gonna build a new tram line, and we're gonna pray this works. Okay, so we're gonna start from. This one. We're gonna go here, here, loop back around here. 1, 2. This is probably not meant to be this way, but here we go. We got a line going. We should start seeing trams falling out. There we go. And we're gonna recolor this line. I don't like this line. Color. Let's see. What do I color this? We're gonna color this. Let's color this. Okay, what is this? Reach out to the truth. Am I allowed to play this music? Am I gonna get copyright struck by this? I might actually get copyright struck. Okay. So we're gonna make this tram line colored. I don't know how to change the palette. I swear there used to be a button that allowed me to change the palette, and I don't know where it is. It's fine, that's the bus line. What in the world? What do you mean it's connected? Huh? Bus line 6 is connected to the tram line? Oh, it is. Huh? Really? Wait, doesn't make sense. What? Elevated island tram station is. What do you mean there's a bus line? Is there a bus line that's like right in front of this? We probably should put a bus line in front of this. YouTube is weirdly anal about like anything you play just potentially being copyrightable. It's really annoying because generally video game music and anime music don't get in trouble. Well, anime music sometimes does, but video game music generally doesn't. Which is why whenever I'm playing, you know, soundtracks, I have to be a little careful about, you know, what I pick and choose for OST. We're gonna switch something else. I like Persona, but I like to mix it up a little bit. I would normally unironically just watch YouTube or watch a movie while I'm playing City Skylines. I just keep it on the side monitor, and that's usually what I'm doing to keep it going. Anyways, our tram line seems to be working. There's not really any passengers right now, but at the very least I know it runs, which is what I was hoping for. Oh, hello, this is gonna break down. But unfortunately, it does kind of have to do this like weird nonsense loop like this, as you might see. Not much I can do about that, tragically. That's just unfortunately the way it's set up. Okay, and then this unfortunately does need a hook into the ground floor now, so we gotta finagle this so it can get its utilities. So I think what we're gonna do is this is gonna be so annoying to do, but I have to do this. Okay, so we're gonna trying to figure out what's the best entry point. I think the best entry point is probably going from here, and then we'll have to just go down, and then we'll just loop this way. This is so stupid. And this one should move out this way too. Ooh, that looks... Ooh, that looks terrible. Well, you know what? We can fix this with the power of move it. Okay, this needs to extend out slightly, I think, is the other problem. I need to get some of these trees too. Extend this out like that. I think for the time being, until I can figure out how to finagle this, we will just dump a straight alley in there. It's not perfect, it just needs to work while I figure out how I'm gonna fix this abomination. What have I done? Alright, where is network tools? I believe I can do a smooth slope here if I just click, 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 click. Okay, so I can smooth the slope out, which is fine. And then I think the only way to fix this is you turn this exterior one into a retaining wall and just kind of force it in. There we go. See, that looks clean. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, see? Anything's possible with enough hopes and dreams, and we'll just add another retaining wall on this side too. See, that looks good. Okay. Kind of. We'll probably have to finagle this a little bit, maybe add some rocks. I've learned just adding rocks and trees can generally make things look a lot nicer when you don't even realize it. We'll just also smooth this out a little bit by just shrinking the brush down. There we go. Shrink that down. Maybe we do a slope tool from about here, from like this. Just kind of give it a nice smooth curvature. See? Look at that. Looks nice. So we got trams, we got this thing. I don't even know if it is carrying passengers. I think this line probably should have 2 cars at once, so we'll crank it up to 2 cars. Runs day and night. We'll change the color for... We'll call this the cyan line. How about that? And that should be fine. Yes, we got a cyan streetcar. This is actually a really nicely designed station. I love looking at what people make in this game. Like, take a look at this beautiful tram station. So it is elevated, so to get up there, you have to go into this mysterious building that doesn't have anything interior, but it does basically lead you upstairs, and there is elevator access, and as well as probably stair access, which is what that's supposed to be. And then you can kind of just hop on the tram. So this works. I believe with Write It, you can change what the text says. Actually, hold on. Yeah, wait, let me try this real fast. We needed a name for this. What was I naming this area? I don't want to call it Sterling Meadows. I need a good name. You know what? I have an idea. I'm just gonna pull up a map of Japan. I'm just gonna name it after like a ward in Osaka. Let's call this this more urban, denser area. Why don't we call it Soupland? I'm not calling it Soupland. Just because I like eating soup all the time doesn't mean we have to call it that. Or I'm gonna call it Tsuruhashi after the station that I was at earlier. So this area is Tsuruhashi. There we go. Okay, and then this station, if I rename this, let's see. Tsuruhashi tram station. I am kind of curious if anything is writable on this. It might not be. I have write everywhere. Hold on, so if I should be able to click this, right? City layout, this prefab stuff. Okay, so maybe not. Okay. Because some things you can write, I just don't know how this mod works. I mostly just have it such that I can have the JP signs and whatnot so that the city looks at least somewhat correct, but I don't really know how to use right everywhere. I thought you could just write custom text, but that might not be correct. And the music stopped again. You want the Nyanya outfit? All right. Nyanya, go to inshallah. Welcome aboard. Now let's go here. So how do I do this? I mean, I guess it's fine. It looks okay. The station's doing its job. People are coming in. People are going about their days. Realistically, you could probably fit a few small shops underneath here, but I don't have anything that can fit. At the very least, this should encourage more citizens to take public transit, which is the main goal. And obviously, we'll extend the tram line out at some point, and maybe we might have to actually turn it into a loop. I'd prefer not to make it a loop, but we may have to make it a loop. And we'll just have like one circle versus another circle, and that's probably the best we can do, and it's fine. Oh wait, I keep forgetting I keep changing it. There we go. All right. So that's fine. We got that going. Okay, so this area needs to be built. So first of all, yes, this is a college. It can hold 5,000 students. Which is good because we need to educate college quality students. And now we need to build the rest of this entire neighborhood park area up. So I was considering putting additional, what do you want to call it here, buildings, but I honestly think this area would just be better served if it's just this little section is strictly dedicated to this ridiculous building. And I'm thinking also a single bus line can probably fit in this corridor here. Why is the college an earthen bunker? I don't know. It's a fancy college. It's the rich people fancy college. And we'll make a bus line like right there. So we will make a bus stop here. And then I need to fit a park in here. What's the biggest park that I can fit? I need what's the largest thing I can wait? I could fit in let's see. Oh my god, I can fit a modern art museum in here. And it would perfectly fit. We could put a dragon gate for some reason. A water park. Oh my gosh, wait, there is a water park asset. How was your vacation? We could put a Buc-ee's water park. Hold on. We could put a Buc-ee's water park on, ironically. This is such a terrible idea. Am I bastardizing the name of Buc-ee's? I love the story. And how are you doing, comrade? How was your stream? What were you up to? A martial raid? What were you playing? I'm kind of curious now. Also, thank you for the
You had me at the booth is.
You had me Buc-ee's. Thank you for the resub, Merriman. I appreciate it very, very much. Hopefully you had a fun vacation. Okay, sure. As Zan says, oh god, how was it? Welcome home. Would you like me? Oh, sorry, what was it? Welcome home. Would you rather have dinner, a bath, or a wonderful visit to Buc-ee's? Ooh, Cult of the Lamb. Good choice. Cult of the Lamb's a good game. Oh, sorry. I had your channel open because I was like clicking. I was kind of curious what you're doing. How data, because we have a single data center right now. I actually am not building anymore right now because our economy legitimately could not handle this thing. This thing consumes $141,000 per month. We do not make that much right now. I mean, we could, but it's too risky. But on the other hand, we built a Buc-ee's. This is supposed to be a Japanese-esque city, but it's kind of turned into like some weird bastardization of American and Japanese city design concepts. So you have like a Buc-ee's in the middle of nowhere. Also, there's the Buc-ee's corporate town. So all these people here live and work at Buc-ee's. That's their life. By the way, I can actually pick and choose citizens. So if you want to be a citizen, let me know and I can track your life until you die. That is an option. Yeah, so we do have a small transit system here. So this will need a park. You want a citizen? All right. I'm going to grab a random citizen from the tower. Ready? All right, Comrade Xanth, you are now this one guy here. The Thurgy family. We're gonna find your single household member, Tony Denny. So this is Xanth Thurgy. Follow your life. Okay, and then we'll grab a. You want to work at Buc-ee's? Okay, hold on. Let me grab a, and we'll get a Vistorian one too. Can I even find a specific employee who works here? I don't know if I can. I actually don't know who works here. The Koi family. I don't think there's a way for me to check who works at the Buc-ee's. Unfortunately. Or is there? Some of these are like retired. Yeah, I can't actually tell who works at where, but we'll pretend. We'll just grab someone at random. I've heard Buc-ee's pays really well, yeah. Like, unironically, like, I heard it's actually like a really good place to work if you just need a job, right? We'll make this one Vistorian. We'll pin your life here, and then we'll grab another one here from the company work town, and we'll name this one Airman Joker. Okay, then we're gonna pin your life here. So I don't really know. This thing doesn't really tell me that much, but I can kind of just track you guys for the most part, and we can see your tweets if you make tweets. But for the most part, it doesn't really matter that much. By the way, I forgot about this event journal. Hey, look, there's not that many car accidents. Starting pay at the Buc-ee's. Okay, I'm kind of curious. What is the average pay at a Buc-ee's? Honestly, $18 for a cashier for a first-time job. Bathroom at $20. That's a really good rate for like a first-time job type deal. Wow, and they give you 3 weeks of PTO. That's insanely good. A lot of corporate jobs I've been at, you don't even get that many on your first year. You usually only get like 1 or 2 weeks, and you have to kind of get more as your seniority rises. That's not bad at all. I mean, yeah, to be fair, they are kind of annoying to get to, but that's not a bad... That's not bad rates at all. Assistant manager? Wait, assistant general manager at 100K? That's crazy. Although I assume that also includes benefits. They might be rolling benefits into the cost of that, but that's actually kind of crazy. That's kind of cool, though. Hey, I think it's interesting. I think that's kind of neat. Okay, we're going to throw our bus stop on here. Oh, this bus stop's not going to be active for a while, but I want to make sure we have a bus stop ready to go. I am considering adding a big central bus stop here at some point. Probably over here we'll throw in... God, do I want to add the big fat bus stop? Oh, this would fit right in here. Wait, where's the giant one? Oh. Oh, wait. This fits inside here perfectly. Wait a second. Hold on. Okay, well, I'm gonna move the tower again. The Tower of Commerce is getting moved yet again until for now. I'm just gonna move this over here. I don't like that this is over here, but I have to move it again. It's fine. The retailer, hell, if you're doing considering job, you're working. I mean, that's also true. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that is a very good point. That is a good point. I'm not one to really work retail personally, but I can see the struggle. Ooh, I could put this here. A little janky. If I do this, I don't need that other bus stop, and this could just be the bus stop. Should I do that? Should I just make just the one big stop? I think it actually might be better to have the one big stop, because I assume this area is gonna need it, is my guess. So we could probably just add the biggin. What do you mean it's not connected to the road? What is going on here? Whoa! What is happening to my bus? Oh, because it's a sunken bus stop. Oh lordy. Shoot. Oh my god. Oh no! It messed everything up. Okay, hold on. I gotta fix this. God, I hate it when that happens. Okay, so I have to go use move it, and then we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then all flatten here. Okay, that's fixed it, I think. Okay. I'm surprised people are blasting fireworks already. That stuff just sounds annoying. I'm surprised. Yeah, okay, so... Yeah, because it's technically a sunken stop. That's why. And it was trying to hook it... Okay, I see what's going on. Yeah, this will not fit here. So I don't think I can actually fit this big, giant bus stop here. I think it's not really worth it. I think in a bigger city, maybe this will make more sense over here, but not this specific section of the city. Maybe in that inner area, we'll probably build another urban center is probably the most correct spot to put it. So for now, yeah, the giant Sears Tower can go back. Oh, is there any other towers I can throw in here? Let's see. What other funny buildings do I have? I might as well throw in all the big, giant, fuck-off towers I can build. What else do I got? I can put a sporting goods store. We can put... Oh, an arena. Ooh, actually. Wait, an arena makes a lot of sense here, I would think. Right? I think you would put an arena here, somewhere near this. It's a little too big, though. I definitely want to put an arena somewhere, though. I think sports would be very important. I don't know if we can put this specific arena, but we can definitely put something. You can't necessarily put a baseball team. Actually, wait, yeah, you can. I think there is a baseball stadium asset. Let's see. Oh, there is not, surprisingly. We can put the Sports Hub Pavilion, which has a bunch of miscellaneous sports, or we could just put like a soccer field. We could set up like a American football field here too. I don't really watch football myself, but I know, you know, people can be really into their feet ball. This tower's in the way. I really don't like that this is here. It's technically just a commercial building, so I don't really need it. But I don't know where I'm gonna dump this. I'm just gonna put this here temporarily. Okay. What do I even put here? Ideally, I want to put like a giant sports thing in the middle, but I don't think anything can fit. Yeah. Yeah, this one's like just slightly too small to fit, which is a little unfortunate. We could put in probably... Ooh, the Emerald Towers is fine. Docklands Tower. What's the biggest tower I can fit in here? Let's see. Cornori. I think this is probably as big as we're gonna get. I don't think there's anything like bigger or like wider than this, unlike a large complex. Are you so lazy? Because you haven't decided what you want to do with your day yet, and it's very easy to fall into the trap of not getting up to do anything. Oftentimes, you have to force yourself just to get up a little bit. If you can get yourself past that initial hump of not wanting to get up, you can get things done. But ultimately, you have to force yourself to get through that first initial bout of laziness. If you can get past the initial bout of laziness, you'll be fine. But it is difficult. I understand. I've been there. Do we just add more giant towers here? What is the... Oh, whoa, this is kind of sick. Unfortunately, the way this is designed, like, I can't fit some of these, like, super large buildings. I'd have to finagle the streets a little bit. Like, this one can fit here. Barely. Actually, that looks... Ooh, that actually looks not that bad. I like that. All right, what other weird buildings can I throw in here? God, I could throw this in. There's not really a point to this facility, I think, here. Might have to hold that for another location. Because, again, I think this is just going to end up being a giant park. And then everything else will just kind of finagle it until it looks good. And I think that's fine. You've been up for almost 12 hours. How have you been up for almost 12 hours? You should probably, unironically, probably get some rest, but I assume if you're telling me that you've been up for 12 hours, you don't want to rest, right? Ah, shoot, why is that broken? I don't think that's angled correctly. I think something broke here. I don't think these are, like, lined up correctly. God damn it. That's what I hate. I hate trying to force this to look correct, so I'm gonna delete these. And then I'm gonna see if I can hopefully try to force it to be correct. There we go, that's much better. Okay. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I will just build this out. The city is in fact not burning down. I've actually done a pretty good job of building the city. In fact, I think most of you would probably agree, hey, maybe the professor's not actually that much of an idiot and can actually build a city when necessary. Truly, right? I'm sure you all believe that wholeheartedly, that I am in fact not that incompetent. I think I'm just gonna build this out here, hook this in there. And then we're going to build this in together. So I think the way this works is, let's see if I remember this correctly, this right side needs to be a retaining wall. Oh, sorry, this side has to be the key. I don't think the key is correct, but it's fine. Actually, no, the key looks the key looks the most appropriate. Yeah, so make this a key. Get rid of the retaining walls here. You don't need retaining walls. Make that as long as possible. And then this one should also be a key, I believe. And then this should also be a key. So that's fine. And then I think we'll just drag the dirt down here so it looks a little bit cleaner. So we'll go set from here, and then we'll just kind of do a nice little gentle slope. Kind of like this. Let's see, make this a little... Oopsies, make this a little here. And then make this a little larger. And then there we go. We'll use the smoothing tool to make it a little softer. There we go, doesn't look that bad. Even needs about 8 hours of sleep a night. 16 hours of wake time. I mean, depends how much sleep you really need. I don't even get like that many hours of sleep a night. I usually end up getting something along the lines of I'm usually like a 6 hours a night person, and I've tried to sleep in a little bit more than that, but I generally can't. My body just kind of forcibly wakes up at a certain time, and it's just kind of how it is. What do you mean? What's wrong with the urban design? It's totally fine. I can't believe Ranu says my design sucks. What do you mean? Look, we're just putting in the key buildings, and then we're gonna slowly design the rest of it. Okay, it'll be fine. I can't believe Ranu says I suck. What is this? I'm trying my best out here. I'm gonna put a few small offices here. I think this area is perfect for like a bunch of small office buildings. This is perfectly reasonable. There we go. Let's throw some offices there. Actually, they don't want offices, which is the funniest part. They want more commercial. The problem is this stupid building is so tall that it will just eat up like every reasonable thing that you can do. Also, I need to put something back in here. What do I put here? There was a giant building here, and now there's not. I guess I just put a bunch of high-density residentials and call it a day. Yeah, I did move it out of the old spot, but now there's like a giant gap, and I don't know what to put here. Ideally, I like to put a stadium of some kind, but I don't think I can fit the stadium in here. Yeah, like the Ice Lake Stadium's a little too big. And most of the other buildings I don't really like in here, unless I want to put like a low density, like a lower sized commercial outing. Like there's a theater here. I could put an Oasis. I could put a Costco here, maybe. I could put an IKEA. Oh my god, I can't put the IKEA. Oh my god, I could almost fit a Costco in here. But it's not a Costco if there's no parking lot, so it doesn't really make sense. So I'm not gonna put a Costco there. Actually, I think it might be better to put this random office building. This one probably makes sense. Is probably fine. I don't know. I'll probably come back to this. I don't really know what I want to do with this space yet. Like, you could put a car shop, but that's kind of boring. Why would you just have a car shop there? Emerald Towers actually might be okay. Hold on. It's just slightly too long by like 2 tiles. Ooh, wait, hold on. The Docklands Tower fits almost perfectly. Yeah, I think this one actually might be correct. I think this one's fine. This one fits almost perfectly in there, and it's not as egregious as the other one. I think we'll put this one in. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. I think what we'll do is we'll slap this one down, but I'm actually gonna turn off the attaching to the grid, and then we'll just kind of align it like this. In the center. Okay. And then all we gotta do is just fix the surfaces and the pathways, and that should be fine. So to make this look appropriate, we're gonna grab my handy dandy. Actually, wait, no, I know what I'm gonna do. I need the invisible pedestrian pathways. I don't know how this tool works. Do you just point? You just plop it down? Oh, here we go. So you can just draw like a path like this. So now there's an invisible pedestrian path that I guess they'll sometimes take? Question mark? I don't know. I think that's generally why you want this to like align to a road, but I don't know if that's something I want to do. Actually, it's fine. No, that's okay. So what we'll do is yeah, okay, so here's my plan. So we're gonna take the surface tool. We're just gonna extend the surfaces out ever so slightly so it kind of Goes all the way out like this. I get rid of this control. That's fine. Kind of like that. Okay, so that's lined up, and we're just gonna do the same thing for this one. We're just gonna do this all the way around, make sure the surfaces are as essentially as wide as they can be. You don't need that node, you don't need that node, you don't need that node, or that node. Perfect. And I think that looks pretty good. Kind of, for the most part. It seems to be reasonable enough. Let's extend it out all the way. Yeah. Delete that. Extend that out. And then this one should also go out all the way too. But yeah, I'm always a believer of like, one thing I've learned from watching YouTubers play this is that if there's a will, there's always a way to make it work. It may not be the most logical way, but if you have a certain idea in mind, you can generally force City Skylines to do it, which is actually kind of impressive because this game is kind of jank sometimes, but for the most part, it's not that bad. It is jank, but it's not the worst kind of jank. It is just a form of jank. See, like, look at that. I've already made a beautiful streetway, so now they're kind of crossing across when they need to. Parks are available for them to kind of enjoy. Yeah, I think I will, but right now, this is not a priority for me to kind of customize. This is just it exists, and I don't really need to finagle it that much. But I will add some invisible pedestrian paths just so they can kind of get to this area here. I think that works, right? Can they does that lead straight there? Yes, okay. Yeah, you mean extend this tan path? Yeah, this one's kind of janky. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one, quite frankly. I might just get rid of this park and just build like something else here. But I needed to build that path so they can kind of walk over to the bus stop here, the corner of the building. Oh, you mean extend extend this out here, like all the way? Okay, hold on, I think I can do that. So I think we get rid of this node, this node. Oh, it doesn't like that. Okay, so I have to finagle this like this. Uh-oh, whoopsies, that's fine. Okay, so we just gotta finagle this until it is comfortable with whatever the heck I'm doing here. There's always a way. I'm trying to delete this specific node without breaking everything else, you know what I mean? Okay, there we go. Delete that one. Bring that in. Okay, there we go. So then I can just force this one out here, and then this one drags down all the way to the end. There we go. That actually doesn't look that bad. Good call. You know what we should put here? Fountains. Fountains make everything look nicer. Or planters. Planter boxes are also a pretty option to make things look cooler. Or actually, we could put these giant pavilion, like we could make it like a nice walkway, would also be a valid choice. So for example, you could do something like, I don't know how to shrink assets, unfortunately. This realistically, you probably would have like a big old pavilion like this. Actually, yeah, this would probably make sense, right? As long as it's aligned correctly. Hold on. Oh, I can line tool this. That's really funny. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Probably not necessary. It is apparently winter now, so it is snowing, but I don't see any snow. Let's see. What else could I possibly add here? Wait, I can add a clock tower. Wait, that's kind of sick, actually. Wait, this seems so stupid. I want to put one. Wait, I can put a clock tower here. Wait, there's no reason for this, but this seems hilarious. Oh my god, I could force this to be a roundabout and I could put a clock tower. That's such a bad idea. That's such a terrible idea. Oh no. When the game gives me options, I start thinking about it. I'm like, man, maybe this should be something that I do. Oh wait, I think the way this works, I think if you grab this, can I shrink this with move it? No, okay, I don't know how to shrink things. I know there's a way to shrink things, I just don't know what the option is. I don't want to put a clock tower there. I'm already happy with the tram line. It is actually using a lot of passengers are actually using the tram line, which is pretty impressive. I am actually quite proud of that. The other choice that I could do is I could move the elevated tram station inside a little bit, build a separate road connecting. That would also be the bus stop, which would also be a very valid choice, because this technically would need a parking lot, I think. Though I believe pedestrians can hop on from either side anyways. So I guess you would put a parking lot. The problem is, how do you build parking for... How do you build a parking lot for nearly 5,000 citizens that will be living in this tower? That's the ultimate question that I think we need to ask ourselves. What kind of obnoxious parking system? Now we could put multi-level parking garages. I could also just put this giant parking tower nearby. I guess realistically underground parking would probably make the most amount of sense, but even then that's still not ideal because it is kind of big. But I think I don't have a choice. I do need to put a parking system somewhere nearby. This entire corner is just kind of a disaster. This entire street section is going to be a disaster, and there's little I can really do to make that any better. So yeah, you would need some kind of parking here. Maybe you'd put them in front. So my logic with putting it in front is that the civilians who live there can park across the street. This probably doesn't actually need to be a 4-lane abomination. This could be 2 lanes and it would be fine. I don't know. It's surprisingly hard to figure out where to put parking. Put these dome parking garages, or it's just slightly... I didn't make this area big enough. I did not make this area big enough, and I am regretting it. Yeah. By the way, look at our new office buildings that are just kind of hanging around here. They're very much just chilling. I do not like the surfaces though, so we're just gonna paint this entire area just plain concrete. This whole thing is gonna be ugly concrete. We'll use this one, is fine. Could make it look something else. Pavement. Yeah, but I think this area should be concrete in general, so we're gonna... Ooh, what happened here? Is it no mod? No, absolutely not. This is heavily modded. I cannot play this game unmodded, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is definitely a modded playthrough. How do I get rid of this? Is this a retaining wall? Okay, there we go. Yeah, I just don't have Anarchy enabled. Sorry, you can't see Anarchy because it's behind my body. But yes, I am running Anarchy because if I didn't have Anarchy, this thing would be literally unplayable. So many problems in this game are resolved by just having Anarchy. Playing vanilla? Well, that's crazy talk. Who would ever do such a thing? Alright, we're gonna replace this entire shtick with this beautiful concrete surface. I love it. Look how painfully disgusting this is. It's just so bland. Actually, wait, can I put parking here? Unfortunately, I don't think I have parking available. I don't think there's any parking that's thin enough to fit here. I really wish there was like a 1-tile wide parking asset, but that's just not a thing, I guess, which is a little tragic. I guess the easiest solution I could probably do would be to switch to my... I have that one asset here. Alley with one-sided parking. I guess we can just force it to rebuild. Yeah, that's fine. All right, there we go. And you could probably do like some kind of urban promenade type thing up here. It's not the worst idea that I've done. It just kind of looks ugly without any context. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like I did buy the game on release and I played it. I thought it was fine. You got your boat package? Wait, are you a modder? Hold on. What is the name of your boat package? I don't have any boat assets installed. Oh my god, you make military assets for this game. Holy moly. Is that an aircraft carrier? Wait, that's so funny. This channel really does just collect game modders. I don't know what it is. Like every time I play something, a game modder shows up and it's just like, all right, I'll subscribe to your boat package because it looks pretty funny. I'm also gonna subscribe to that aircraft carrier because I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but it seems funny too. I'm not gonna reload the game right now because I've only got like maybe 20-30 more minutes before I gotta cut, but yeah, that is interesting. Okay. Let me take a quick look. Is it this Selenius one? Based on California. Let's see. I mean, it does look pretty nice from the screenshots. It's very flat, which is very California coded, especially like mountains and flatness. It's not the type of map that I personally would play, but I do appreciate the amount of effort that went into it. I personally play island maps, so like that's why I'm playing this one. But I do like what you've done with it. Also, we really need more death care. Do I have did I not build crematoriums? Wow, we don't have nearly enough crematoriums. I could put, oh wait, hold on, we could put a, wait a second, I just realized I could put a cemetery here. Just kidding, cemeteries are way too large. I think we just put another crematorium. Yeah, because I think that area here could probably fit a church if I really wanted it to, but I don't want to. But yeah, that is pretty interesting. Hopefully you get some people playing the map. It's not the type of thing I would play personally, but it does look pretty cool, and I can appreciate a good looking map. Where the fuck am I gonna put a, I guess I can just shove a crematorium somewhere. Oh, you know, here, there's an island here. Okay, we'll put a small crematorium here. There we go. God, this street is such a disaster already. I think it's because everyone's moving into this facility. So because cars have to literally drive over there, and this is the only way to get in there. It's a bit of a mess. You know what? I think it's time we connect to the Buc-ee's. I'll make a proper connection later, but for the time being, to at least mitigate some of the traffic shenanigans we're dealing with, I will build a small 4-lane highway that will connect this area to the Buc-ee's that's kind of hanging out over there. We'll just do a nice simple complex curve is fine. There we go. All right, the Buc-ee's connection has been instated. This is definitely something. 10 hours painting trees. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think those maps do take a long time, but I appreciate a good map, and it looks good. I'm always looking for more maps to play, but I think for now I'm kind of stuck on this one, which I do like. God, there's so much traffic. There's so much traffic. Well, hopefully they start taking the Buc-ee's express route. Oh yeah, they are. Okay, yeah, we're starting to see more cars passing near the Buc-ee's, which is great. Okay. Oh my god, this is such an unmitigated disaster of traffic. Oh my god. It's so bad. Are they all trying to make a right? No, I think they're not. All of them are trying to get onto the highway. I think I need to adjust this like a 4-lane abomination, like with an exit lane. It's probably correct. Okay, I think this needs to be an exit lane. Yeah, don't you love the little island creamery? This entire city's been a bit of a mess. We've got beautiful... There was a lot of like high density urban here, but I'm trying to trim it down and move a lot of them over to this section of the island here instead. So that's why you've got the giant Silver Dragon Tower here, which requires ambulance. Oh, I need more hospitals. I forgot that our population spiked, so I do need more healthcare. Ooh, I do have the tower. I do have this one. Wait, this fits perfectly. Can I put this next to here? Oh, perfect, actually. Yes. Okay, so this... We'll put this giant downtown hospital. I do like this asset. We'll put this one... Thinking... in front of the tram station is probably correct. Okay, here's our brand new hospital. It is perfectly fitting with the rest of this nonsense. It also costs $1 million a month. We actually can't afford this, and I may need to actually crank down our healthcare services for quite a bit. Yeah, we're gonna crank down the healthcare services. That thing costs way too much money. I cannot afford that. On the other hand, this thing can handle a capacity of 1,000 patients. 1,000 dying people can come here for their healthcare, and they'll be perfectly fine. Okay, so that's fine. So we have the hospital in front of this thing. The main issue I have right now is that this is not... Okay, right, so this is not connected over. There's a dedicated separate road. But it's very likely that I will connect it over here to kind of help make that a little cleaner. Because you can see this alley is like already overburdened. because they're trying to go across. So I think I have no choice. I do need to build this out. I'll just build this out. All right. I truly am one of the greatest city builders of all time. Okay, that's not what I wanted, but this needs to. I need to fix this before I turn that back on. Elevate this. I think this entire section can just be elevated as we drag it over there. Okay, so then this needs to be upgraded to a 2-lane abomination. Oh, it's not straight. That's fine. Let's delete that, and then just drag and draw a new road. Oh my goodness, it's not aligned. Oh no, I thought this was aligned the whole time. That's really awkward. I guess that's fine. Not everything has to be perfectly aligned. Yeah, I guess it's fine. It doesn't have to be aligned. It's gonna throw me off, but it's not a big deal. Shoot. That's what I was afraid of. Alright, there we go. I don't want that other road there, because this is supposed to be strictly an access point for these offices, and obviously being a tram employee, so I don't want cross traffic going this direction. So that's why I'm kind of trimming that away, and if they want to go to here, yeah, it's not meant to be. Oh, you know what else I forgot? Garbage management. We have not thought about garbage management in forever. How is this city? I almost said colony again, god dang it. How much of this is... I don't know how to track my garbage. Recycling, okay. So, we can process the garbage, but this building in particular does not have... Oh my gosh, what is happening here? There's not enough horses. Colony. I can't stop saying colony. I am so rimworld brain rotted. I say colony all the time. It's so cursed. I'm not rimworld brained. What do you mean? I feel like I'm rimworld brained a decent amount. Imperialism in the 21st century. I mean, I could play Victoria, and that would be a very accurate statement. That would not be incorrect. There's not enough people using this station, by the way. I need to force them to start using this. Yeah, there's not enough hearses going around, which is kind of a problem. God, I hate this. These assets are always bugged. I don't know why. The only way to fix them is you have to like jiggle the house a little bit, and then it suddenly starts working. You jiggle one, and then the rest of them jiggle into place. It's very weird. Okay, I have 30 minutes left on stream. Do we continue working on this downtown urban center area, or do I work on the port? I could work on the port, as long as you're aware that I don't really know how to build a port in this game. I'm legitimately gonna go pull up a map of a major port in, say, Japan, and just see if I can finagle this into looking like a shipping hub, but I don't know how that's gonna look. Especially because there's not really going to be a way to put a train line in here. Oh, I did put a train line in here. So, but the train line doesn't go into the rest of the city, which is the other main problem. So it's basically going to be all car traffic for anything that comes in and out. And I'd have to find a way to hook it in here, which is the problem. Because this entire area is kind of a disaster. You might have noticed here. So I probably have to hijack this, and this is where the cars are going to come in from. Oh God, I don't want to think about it. But I know it must be done. The port must be made. We must have our goods coming in. I don't even know how they're getting the goods. It's all coming in by car. Realistically, I should probably build some kind of cargo hub. What the heck was that? Wait, you know what I could do? Wait, how did I run out of money? Oh shoot, this hospital. How much does this thing cost, by the way? I built it, I didn't pay attention to it cost 2.5 million. It ate up all my money. I was like, wait a second, where's all my cash? Well, that's ain't that awkward. Alright, let's see what we can fit in this like center area. I don't know what I can fit in here. I don't have anything tall. I can't really fit a stadium there either, which is kind of an issue. I do want to put a stadium somewhere, but I think if we extend this If we extend the tram line down, we could probably fit a stadium somewhere and just put the tram near the stadium. Would be my guess. Because I don't expect a tram to run all the way around the city. I expect it to basically terminate around the Buc-ee's. So you can take public transit to the Buc-ee's, and that would be perfectly fine. By the way, look, it's getting a little more full. Oh, they actually do pull into the... Oh, look, they actually pull into the gas station. It's beautiful. I'm pretty sure it's because these are coded as parking spots, but look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. This is true Americana right here. This is... Oh, shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, God. Yeah, see, right here, this is what City Skylines is all about. Making your own suburban American roadway hellscape. You, too, can go to Buc-ee's and consume copious amounts of brisket. What other assets are in the area? Hold on. I kind of want to see the view from various viewpoints. Okay, so let's say you're at the Buc-ee's. So from here, you can actually see the big old tower and the other tower there, which is kind of nice. I don't know. I'm trying to just also make sure the skyline looks nice. The main issue, this one is just a giant central lane. This probably could have been an 8-lane road, honestly. I probably should have made this an 8-lane road. But at the same time, 8 lanes might be a little unnecessary. Oh my God, whoa. Where are all these taxis coming from? We don't even have taxi service in the city. I almost said colony again. Where are all these taxis coming from? Where are they going? Oh my God. This is actually urban hell. This is actually an urban hellscape right there. No, I would absolutely have buildings face it. I would make it an 8-lane strode. We're gonna do the Texan experience. I mean, realistically, you'd probably have more frontage roads. Like, we do have a frontage road here. See, part of the problem is other people, when they play City Skylines, they try to build some, they have a lot more space to work with and they can build bigger and wider. I purposely choose small maps because it makes, I like making things super compact. But making things super compact requires like a whole different level of insanity to make it work correctly. So that's kind of the main issue. This place is basically full of citizens already. So, all right, I gotta at least build this out. So I think there should be a train line or a bus line here. So I will slap down my beautiful bus road. Like this, I think is correct. Wonderful. Okay, and then I completely cocked up because I did not make this a grounded thing. I'll make it grounded. Okay, so that's fine. Let's get rid of this. We don't need that. Okay, perfect. Wonderful. Okay. So essentially what this is we have a bus stop now, which we're not using right now, but we will at some point. And then I'm going to turn this small area into like a park. I think this area is probably a park. And we probably put like a big old nice pedestrian path kind of along this frontage area here. Yeah, because I think this would be correct. You put like a pedestrian path like that, and then you could probably just curve it into that. Probably do the same thing on this side. There we go. Look at that. It looks fine. Question mark? Yeah, okay, at least it works. Okay. So now we have to build a beautiful park. Actually, wait, no, I have an idea. So what I'm gonna do to make this look a little nicer is instead of using this really tiny dinky one, we're gonna use the big one. There is actually a really big pedestrian pathway that I don't think a lot of people really use because it's a little chunky, but I think it looks pretty, so we'll use it instead. If I can find it. I don't know where it is. It's one of these. Oh, we could have bicycle. We could add bicycle paths. What if we had an elevated bicycle pathway? Okay, I think I might be going a little insane. Maybe we don't need elevated bicycle pathways. That might be a little extreme. Let's just focus on the pedestrian pathways before I lose the plot. It's under small roads. Here we go. Pedestrian streets that do allow service and delivery vehicles, which is fine. And they probably do something. It is really wide though. Like, holy moly, it is wide. Which is why I think a lot of people don't use this. It's generally unnecessary. But I mean, I think that makes sense for being in front of a station, right? I think this makes sense for being in front of a station. I think what I would do though is I'd probably trim out the, I mean, yeah, I guess instead of normal roads that makes sense. I think what I'd probably do though is this probably doesn't need stoplights. And I probably wouldn't allow pedestrians to cross there either. Like, that's just no crossings allowed. This one is allowed to cross though. They need to go cross, they need to go over there. All right. You know what this needs? You know what exactly what I'm going to put in this corner? I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to put in this corner. I'm putting a family mart. You can never have enough family marts. Look at that. Just put a small family mart right there. Oh. So as soon as you're done, as soon as you get off, you can just hop on the family mart and get your, maybe let's put that somewhere else. I don't know what the signature building. Can I put it there? Ooh, wait a second. Hold on. Can I put it I want to put it in front of the station, actually. Can I put it right in front of the station? Is there a smaller one? Let me see. Let me see if I have anything small. I should have something. I don't need... I want generic all... it's gotta fit like a 3x... Oh my god, the game is starting to lag. Oh dear, what's happening? It's family parts 3x3. Can I make it like... What's a 2-depth one? That looks a little too grungy for me. Put a gas station, which doesn't really make sense. And there's not a lot of good options. Ugh. Alright, I have an idea. So let's reset this, reset this, reset this. Okay, let's see. Family. Okay, so the smallest family mart I can get is a 3x3. Which I guess a 3x3 is okay. I don't... The main thing, again, is I don't like the parking lot. I think the parking lot's completely unnecessary. But I guess it's gonna be fine. Just put it there, and then we'll just finagle this a little bit more. So we will just use the surface editing tool. I'm surprised this song is still on. I'm surprised this music is still playing, by the way. Actually, no, don't do that. Let's not do that. So I think what I want to do is all these areas can be turned into beautiful green spaces, and I think I want to make use of that functionality. The main issue is that this fence here, I don't know if I can delete that fence tile. I could, in fact I might, that's right, because I think you can with this delete tool do that. I think you can just do sub-elements, right? So you do information, sub-elements here. Yes, I could delete this entire fence. Or at least that one portion there, so that looks a little more correct. In fact, I'm going to just delete this whole fence line here. I'm going to rebuild the fence myself. And that should be free. I think that's fine, right? I'm putting so much effort into making sure this stupid, what's it called? This stupid, family mart looks correct. Okay, so we'll do that. And then I think realistically, I would probably want this back corner sealed off. I did download some new fences that were, I guess, quote unquote Japanese, so we'll see if I can find it. Oh, I do have, wait, I did have vending machine assets. Wait! I did have vending machines. Hello? Alright, come on, you can't have this without like vending machines here. Granted, they're all the same asset, but you can probably just grab and choose. I completely forgot I actually had these. That's so funny. Now if I have to go detailing, I gotta go check every single park area and make sure there's a vending machine or 5. Okay. So, what am I doing for the family mart here? Let's see. I don't know where the fencing assets are is the problem. Here we go, Kansai family. Oh, here's the family mart fence. Okay, so I think what we do, we just use these. And then I guess we just drag them all the way to the end and just call it, yeah, let's do that. Let's do this one. Okay, advanced line tool, fence mode, even. And then we just go bing, bang, 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 boom. Oh, wrong option. Do that. What's this one? There we go. Okay, so then as long as it's lined up correctly. That looks... Okay, I'm not terribly fond of that. How do I delete this? Oh god, I don't know which one it is. Okay, delete. No, no. Okay. There we go. So we delete that, and then I think the way this works is you have to use this, and then we set this to line tool, consistent elevation, drag it out. Okay, there we go. So that fence is built. And then we'd probably just rotate this one a little bit. And then from there, we drag it out here. Okay, this is actually turning out a little bit better than I was anticipating. Then we just drag this one out here. Do another one over here. As straight as I can make it, essentially. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's not perfect. Also, holy cow, hopefully the noises of the city aren't driving you crazy. Where? Well, turns out yeah, there's like 6 ambulances, like all right there. That's literally what's causing the problem. Oh my god, this entire area is gridlocked. What happened? In the span of like a day, this entire area just became gridlocked. All right, whatever. Anyways, I think I'd probably just turn this like a small park, so I'd probably just throw in like a small park cap and call it a day. Yeah, probably throw in like a tiny park or two, one on each side. And then I don't know how to copy the surface here, which is the other problem. I want to copy this surface. And then I'm going to use this. Drag it there. I don't think this is the correct thing to use this for, but alas. Oh yeah, I think I'm not using this correctly. Okay, I should delete that. Oh, shoot. I don't know what I just made. I think I just made a hangout area, which is going to be really awkward. Oh my god, this is so annoying. How do I do this? Okay, so do that. Copy this one. Nope, copy the whole building. I don't know how to make this use the correct surface, and it's driving me a little nuts. Because it's like, I believe there's like 3 or 4 variants of the same building, but I just don't know how to force it into a specific floor. I'd like it to all use the same surfaces, which is kind of, I think it's this one. We'll just force it. That. Bing, bang, 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 boom. And then we just delete this area here. There we go. That looks pretty good. Just extend this out. Beautiful. All right. Here is my abomination of a locale, and then I guess in this corner I'd probably put something nice. What would you theoretically put here? Some kind of nice park asset, maybe a tower. Clock tower. I'm really tempted to put this clock tower here just because it's so dumb, but I know I shouldn't, so I think I'd probably just put it here. You just put a clock tower like that. See, that actually doesn't look that bad. Okay, so you got a clock tower, you got a family mart. The most, oh my god, how do I lower the sirens? I'm gonna go crazy listening to these things. I think it's game volume, right? Let's crank this down. Okay. What is this song playing? Oh, I know what this is. So, overall, I think this area doesn't look that bad. Like, it looks decent. Maybe it just needs a bit of greenery, so you'd probably throw like a circle of shrubs or something along this area. Maybe a fountain or two if you really wanted to feel fancy schmancy. Yeah, I think realistically you'd probably just throw a bunch of plants here and call it a day. So let's just do that real quick. All right, you'd probably throw bushes in, so we'd probably just grab these cultivated flower bushes, just scatter them around, shrink this down. There we go, look at that, beautiful. We're just throwing a bunch of flowers here. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna throw a fountain or two in here because it's like a high, it's a high property value. Yeah, look at that, doesn't that look good? Yeah, it looks wonderful. I love having more greenery. No. No, we make it messy. And then over here, we add fountains to make it look more aesthetically pleasing to the citizens. Okay. Where's my fountain assets? And throw like a large... Ooh. Put a small fountain. Maybe like this. There's no way to snap this to the road, is there? No. Okay, so probably just finagle this until it looks nice. Put another one on the other side. There we go. We got fountains, we got parks, yeah, and then I don't know, you I don't know what else you throw here. You could throw a gazebo. I guess we throw a gazebo here realistically. I think a gazebo on each side makes sense. That's, you know what? I actually like this station. This station actually looks really nice. I'm actually really proud of how this turned out. And it's actually bringing a lot of people to the station, to the tram station, surprisingly enough. Like, there's a lot of people going to the tram station now, and it's kind of nutty. I don't like how they're floating in from above, but I'll let it be. What do you think? I think it looks nice. I think all that effort was totally worth it. These other stations aren't nearly as in use, especially this terminus one, but... Unfortunately, I can't really do much about that. The other option is I replace this station with ones that use two-way tracks. But I kind of like the look of this one the most because there's two... The other one I could have used is... where is it? I might download a different asset. There's another one called a modern elevated tram station. Looks very similar to the other one. Actually, this one looks a little nicer. Actually, I might switch them all out, actually. The main issue is this one's a lot longer. So it's a lot harder to fit into where the current tram lines are. But the difference is that this one has the trams on the center rather than on the exterior. So they just share a single double lane path. So it kind of depends on like, what aesthetic you're going for. This one is a little more nicer because it's... it just kind of depends. Because again, this one's not as an internal building. It's just you just go to the station. It's just strictly the station, right? Unlike the other one, which is a... physical building that the civilians walk into and they climb out of. Take a look in here real fast. You're gonna see them hopping on here. I could change this. I might download some more train or tram cars, but I haven't found one that I really like. But there's a lot of assets nowadays for tram shenanigans, and I think that's great. I love seeing more silly stuff. Hello, Ethiana. You're catching us towards the end of the stream. I'm so sorry, but hopefully you're having a good evening. I do need to end soon. I'm getting a little tired. It is a holiday tomorrow, so I hope everyone's going to enjoy their, you know, their holiday. And, well, if you're an American, it's a holiday. If it's not an American, you don't get a holiday, so that sucks to be you. Showtown quickly? Sure. Okay. So it's a mix of Japanese and American city design. It's very much a mess. So we're on this island. We have a very dense suburban area here, featuring a fairly dystopian looking town area with lots and lots of housing and whatnot, not a lot of parking around a school. There is a giant data center nearby near these apartments and offices that is just going to basically sap all of our electricity and whatnot. I'm not even joking, this is actually a data center. And there's a bunch of like medium density slightly around here. These are mixed density houses, so there's shops on the bottom and apartments on top. And then here you've got the more suburban area. This area is a little messier, which is what I was hoping to set up here. So again, Japanese-esque style, messy design. I probably should be using one-way roads more, but I didn't. You've got a more lightly higher end, fancier living area here. its temporary name is Beechwood Crest. I'll name it something later. And it's basically the high-end residential area. Again, more low-density residential with some fancy-looking apartments here, kind of combined. And then once you get out of there, you end up in the primary downtown. Now, this area is getting changed. I'm moving a lot of the tall buildings away from here, and I'm gonna put them over here instead. But there will be a few tall buildings that are left in this general area. But this is essentially what was the initial central downtown district. So the buildings are kind of a mess. There's a lot of roads that are very wide. There's a giant not Costco here. It's a giant shopping center that has a lot of parking for all the people who want to come visit, but there's not that many people that visit here, surprisingly enough. And these buildings are also going to get moved. I don't actually like these being here, so we will get rid of these and probably replace them with like either high density offices or high density commercial. Well, you know what? Yeah, if we did go for it's some once you get out of the major cities, there is a lot of cities that have just a lot of roads, you know. To be fair, mine are also very rectangular. You can see that it's very much like a pseudo grid, but there's a lot of weird curves and whatnot that just kind of flow with the road. This is the new downtown district that I'm trying to put together. So there's like where the giant towers are. We got a big giant, I don't even know how many floor hospital this is. This thing can hold 1,000 patients. It is titanic. It also eats up a lot of my money and costs way too much money to build this thing. We have the literal Chicago Sears Tower here, and we've got this thing called the Silver Dragon, which I'm not sure which building this is actually supposed to represent, but I believe it's something in, I want to say something in China or Hong Kong. Also, we have a Buc-ee's. Yes, there is just literally a random Buc-ee's that we have over here, and these apartments belong to the people who work at the Buc-ee's. The Buc-ee's employs 300 people. Those 300 people, we pretend live inside of these, in this company town. As you can see, the Buc-ee's is getting busier and busier by the day. It's actually now making a profit, which is crazy. So the Buc-ee's is actually working. I do need to redo this entire intersection. This was pre-built, but this intersection sucks for our purposes. It's actually really well designed, but I don't need it. Taxation's at 12% all around. I need more money, so I can't really afford to do that. We also have a tram line. I finagled a lot of this with today, but there's a tram line that takes you from this downtown central area near the bus stop, and you can take it to this small area near the shopping center, and then it will also take you all the way to the downtown hub. And I will need to add more stops, but I don't know where else I'm going to add. But my terminus is going to be about the Buc-ee's probably in Strayas. I mean, to be fair, yeah. Oh, you're in Australia. For some reason, I thought you were Philippines. I don't know why. I'm so sorry if I coded you as Filipino. Whoops. That's okay, Ranu. The city will be a lot more organized. Like I said, once we move the heavy urban here, we'll go here. I don't know why I pegged you as Filipino. I don't know why. I assume you're not. It sounds like you're just Australian. I'm so sorry if I misinterpreted. Japan, China. I mean, it's definitely it's a Asian vibe. Whether it's East Asian, Southeast Asian vibe is what I'm getting. Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe it's like when I first heard you talk, it might have been your accent, and I was like, oh, you're probably like Southeast Asian or something. Which could be completely off the mark. Like I could be completely wrong, and that's fine. I just think it's funny. Oh, one more thing I gotta do here is I do need to add a final surface to make this look a little cleaner, because the greenery doesn't really make that much sense here, so I will add one more surface. You are Asian? Okay, yeah. It's okay. A lot of us here are Asian. We accept all kinds of Asians here. This is a very weeb-friendly territory, as I myself am a proud weeb. Okay, there we go. That looks a lot better. Yeah. Okay, so we got the vending machines. I'm pretty pleased with how this entire section came out. Obviously, we'll need to extend this out a little bit more, but that's a problem that we'll tackle later. And obviously, the roads being kind of a disaster are kind of annoying too. Like, there's so many. This hospital is a unmitigated disaster, and I need to build the port still. At least we're in the green. I may do a little building off stream. It sounds like people enjoyed this. If you like it, let me know. We might do more city skylines in the future, because I am having a lot of fun doing this. I think today I actually knew what I wanted to get into building, so we just hammered it away, and I think that was a good thing to do. I'm sure people LARP being weebs. I'm sure there's a LARPer for everything if you're willing to look. Anyone can be a LARPer. It's just whether or not you want to be a LARPer. All right, we're gonna go. Let's raid the guy that's playing Star Sector. I think he's still in the middle of his wacky tacky nonsense. Okay, so we're gonna go raid Irish Fighter. All right. Anyways, comrades, I hope you enjoyed today's city skylining. I'm going to stream only 3 days next week, as an FYI. I am traveling to Canada next week, and so I am going to only stream from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday's Rimworld, Wednesday's Fire Emblem, Tuesday's kind of the flex day. It's not going to be a double Rimworld this week, so who knows what it'll be. But, you know, regardless, hope you enjoyed our wonderful city, which still doesn't have a proper... Actually, I know I'm gonna name this Soroshoki. Actually, no, I think I'm using that for another one. That's fine. When I used to run tabletop RPGs and I needed a Japanese setting, I legitimately had a setting called Soroshoki, and that was like my city that I had, and it was based off of like a city. I think it's like based in Niigata, and there was a bunch of other weird stuff that I might try to my city design from my world building document that I might try to throw in here if I can find the correct assets to make it. But yeah, this is going to take a while to build because obviously we have a lot of workable space and there's going to be a lot to kind of finagle. But for the time being, at least this area is slowly coming together and I like it. We're currently at 28,000 population if you're curious. So anyways, good night and say hi to Irish Fighter who's playing some Star Sector. Hopefully he's having a lot of fun trying to fend off the midway battles again, although it seems like he might have stopped doing that. Anyways, good night, goodbye, and enjoy your night and your weekend. Happy 4th of July to the Americans.